Morning traders, it looks like we just got a hot number. We're in a fast market right now. The market is moving down fast off of the PPI report. Live reaction here as we got a hot report. I already got an outlook here to tell you guys a little bit more about exactly what happened here, right? So let's just go to an overall high level summary here. PPI for the final demand rose 0.9% in July, seasonally adjusted, after rising 0% in June and 0.4% in May. So big spike there over the last 12 months. Price increased 3.3, which is the biggest annual gain since February 2025. The key drivers here for the final demand services: 1.1%, largest rise since March in 2022. Trade margins at 2% led to this increase, especially in machinery and equipment wholesaling. Final demand goods at 0.7 up. Food prices 1.4 for fresh dry vegetables. Energy up 0.9%. Fuel also included there. Goods excluding food and energy were up 0.4%. Gas prices fell 1.8%. The core PPI, which is very important, at 0.6 in July, 2.8% year over year. Immediate demands here are also getting the push up. This isn't looking good, right? And this is something that we'll definitely be looking at. Now we need to kind of take a look at what will this do, right? What will happen here? Well, that largest monthly increase, of course, is going to be something to look at. But the spike is mostly attributed to volatile items like fresh vegetables, diesel, trade services, not necessarily core inflation. That's where you're going to get some battle back, right? Some people are going to be talking about, is this inflationary? Does this take away the rate cuts that it seemed like we were pricing in? Because the markets were in an all-in theme here for a September rate cut. So now we need to take a look to see how the market reacts, right? You guys are seeing right now, we are definitely getting a quick dip to the point where I need to watch my trades, right? I'm actually getting hit right now on DraftKings. DraftKings is just dropping fast here. I might actually have to cut the position here. As I was even talking to you guys, the bid has dropped like another 40 cents. So definitely it's going to be a tough day with the market doing this downside action. What can we do? We can try to get some protection on with the VXX. I was trying to get 39.50s. I even put it on this morning's playbook, but look at the action already. We're towards 39.73. So this is really causing some downside action here. And now we need to take a look to see how this will react, right? What will come from this? All things to be looked at. Another thing to watch is the CME Fed tool. Does that change? And what happens there, right? Well, I'll bring you guys right to the CME Fed tool. Of course, this updates and it tells us the time at the bottom. If you guys don't know that, that's what you want to be looking at. So you can see here the data as of 14 August, and it was what, 7:25 that this has been updated. So we need to wait till we see this get to 7:30. Once that happens, these numbers should be changing, and I don't think they'll be at 99% anymore. So yes, this is the biggest change that we've seen in the markets. If you're wondering what has changed in the markets, this is one of the biggest parts. A month ago, we were at 58% chance of a rate cut. Then a week ago, we went to 91%. Just now, we were at 99%. Watch how this data changes once we get past that 7:30 data read here for the CME Fed tool. We'll see what happens there. Will we see some further downside? All things to be looked at. And now I think you'll start to see people start to push that inflation's heading and coming, right? You can take a look at immediate demand and see how that's kind of working in. That's a little bit deeper into the report than I think even you need to be. I think at this point, it just clearly shows that we're going to have a little bit of some up and down with the conversations that are coming out with, of course, all this kind of inflation talk, right? Now we're actually starting to see the goods and services show the spike. And that is not a good sign here for, of course, everybody that wanted a rate cut. Even I think you'll see Trump. Let's see if somebody gets fired on this data team, because that's going to be the interesting part. And get ready, because I'm sure that we'll see a Trump comment or a tweet based on this, because this is really kind of throwing a wrench in what we were seeing in the numbers just prior to this. All right, we'll see what happens there on the PPI. I really got to watch my trade out there on DraftKings. A little annoyed too because DraftKings this morning was actually gapped up in the morning. 4:15, it was trading at 4:30, 43.58. I of course wasn't up at 4:30, but did not see it up there, and it was just trading above 43s. Now going to continue watching it. You can see how it wicked down there to 42.50. I have a pretty good size on at 42.92, so we'll look to see if that bounces. QS also breaking down there, guys. This is a little frustrating because on this trade I was also up close to $70, $100 this morning. This is how easily the overall market can wreck a good swing trade. So, hey, just going to have to battle with it, see what I can do. We'll see what happens, guys. The playbook, even this morning, doesn't look as hot because of what's been going on in the news, right? I was looking for a gap fill on Amazon. Of course, I'll just kind of bring it up here really quickly, guys. Let's go into the playbook. Actually got the little play now. Let's keep it moving. We'll take a look around out there. We'll talk a little bit more about some plays you can look for. All right, guys, as you guys can see here, Amazon going for the gap fill. That's what I was looking for a while back. Even I drew this a little while back. I drew this on the 13th, looking for it yesterday to start getting this gap fill. We went into the gap this morning, looking to see if we can get back up there to 231.40s. Amazon, not a bad name to look at, right? Gap fill is still about 2.25% away. It's one that I'm definitely keeping my eyes on. Block is one that I'm watching too, as it's been sideways here, but it took a step back. Why? Because of PayPal's earnings. It really wasn't Block's earnings, but it filled the gap, right? And when you get that gap fill, that really helps you. I think you start to look to see if we can make a move back to the 80. I'd even look for a trend line approach that comes into play with this one, right? So looking for more of that ride up into this spot, the 81s and 80s. Let's see what happens to Block. I think you can also keep watch on PayPal. PayPal is going to be one to keep an eye out for as we're looking to see if we can go back into that gap, right? And this one came down on earnings. It kind of wrecked the trade. I want to see if PayPal starts working its way back up. And with that being said, you can also take a look at one more name. It doesn't really go exactly with it, but it's one that I watch with it. It's still a payment service, which is Toast, Toast. And I'll tell you one thing, I've been seeing more and more restaurants have Toast at their ability, right? Just recently I was at a breakfast place, and the key about Toast is just like Square, but if you haven't seen it, of course, it's like kind of just a little bit of a handheld. You can give it to the restaurant client, right? And then they go ahead and just pay right there at the table. It's not a bad way. It's good technology. And it works pretty fast. We'll see what happens there in Toast. All right, getting out of that trade, let's talk one more trade. And that is on the VXX, right? I was looking at the VXX there, guys. I'd already getting the spike there. And in my playbook, I even wrote down 39.50s. So we already got above that level. But looking at the pullback here, we'll see what happens. Will the SPYs just start climbing back, or will we actually get a decline? This is why I wanted to short Ethereum, guys, and this was my mistake yesterday, guys. I feel like I let everybody's bullishness affect me a little bit too much yesterday. If I would have been shorting Ethereum right now, I'd be cashing in about 10 points higher, 10 points lower, right? And we'd be cashing in 10 points. But I feel like everybody's bullishness got to me yesterday. Even with Ethereum, there were so many bulls out there kind of pushing it. And I was even saying it on the stream yesterday. I was like, man, there's just too many people that are just buying in Ethereum. That tells me run the other way. I should have listened to my instincts on this one. We'd be having a great trade there in Ethereum. Even though you'll probably still see people say that that's probably not the best trade here. I honestly, it's not about that. Sometimes you got to like kind of push out the noise, push out all those bulls and bears and just go trading, right? This one, clearly a trade that could have been an awesome trade here. And with that being said, BNMR could be coming crashing back down, right? Could not get through the 69 and 70s. I think someone's shorting big in the 69s area. And I've talked about that area before. And I've even traded this one on the short side of things. Was able to get some small profits on the short side. a big profit on the long side. And now we got to see, will BMMR just come crashing back down? It very much could, right? It's not a name that I'm going to be betting too much against here. And I think BMMR can come crashing right back down. All right, we'll see what happens on that one. Continuing to watch to see what happens there in kind of DraftKings. DraftKings, the spread just too wide there this morning, at least in the spread. I'm definitely taking a hit there. And it sucks that QuantumScape is pulled back because, man, QuantumScape was looking really good on the daily. If it could get back through that 975, we get to $10. Hey, I'd even win my account just on that one trade. So I had 2 trades that were going really well. Could have won me the swing account. Now with the market kind of turning back, it might be a little bit tough. And I can't push too much, right? We did get kind of a doji candle yesterday. A little bit of a pullback could be in play. The only question is, will we break down and go through the low? Of course, the PPI gave us a low there of 641.36. Let's see if that holds here in the next 15 minutes, and that's going to drive us right to 9 a.m. If we break that, watch out, guys, because there's going to be stocks falling fast here. And I know a lot of people are buying the dip. I don't know if this is the dip to buy. The market will humble you at one point, and I could see people around, and they're just getting reckless on the dip buying mentality. And that tells me more and more, watch out what could be coming around the corner. All right, guys, we'll see what happens on there. The SPY is still declining a little bit, and you can see it here in the watch list. It doesn't look good today, guys. It looks like disaster. That's what it looks like right now. Everything is down, and that's not a good sign. ETHU, 6% down. Should have been shorting that thing, but it is what it is, guys. You got to let that one go. And that just goes to show you, like, sometimes you just got to believe in your own and trust your own instincts there. Let's talk about some other names. Let's go to the Sunrise Report. There are some earning stocks and some names that we can talk about, but man, it's a little wild out there. And Bull is not, why does it keep doing this? Sorry, I'm complaining about ChatGPT here. Bullish, the IPO yesterday, for some reason, it keeps wanting to put the ticker as Bull, and we all know that's Webull, but don't worry about that. That's just an issue on my side of things. Let's get to the action. Let's talk a little bit more about the Sunrise Report. Let's get to some of those earnings reports out there. If you guys have a name you guys want to take a look at, definitely let me know. QUBT earnings tonight. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. I can even show you that. I had a little window ready to go for that. Let me see if I can just pull this up here. Where's the earnings hub? Here you guys have it. I was looking at this and then looking to see what happens after the bell, right? After the bell, we got some interesting names, guys. We got NU, AMAT, QUBT, NNE, KULR, BTBT. So there's some interesting names reporting after the bell, especially AMAT. AMAT's going to really be important for the semiconductor equipment stock. Sorry for the yawn, guys. It's been a long night. Was up late, but we'll see what happens here with the supplied materials. If it can get that jump today in the intraday, maybe they can just ride it up, right? That's one way that we can just continue winning. All right, guys, let's continue looking around. We'll see what happens on that. Taking a look towards the Sunrise Report now and what we had this morning. Let's talk a little bit more about those setups. First thing, of course, we can talk about is why the cheer, right? Why were we kind of ripping yesterday? Well, we were ripping yesterday because, of course, the July CPI came in light, and that opened the door for rate cuts that are moving down into the kind of CME FedWatch tool, and that we're going to get a rate cut coming. So was the market pricing that in yesterday? And then we get that type of rally. Well, definitely it helped things, right? It lit the rate cut hopes on fire. And now the PPI was going to be the main focus, right? Well, that didn't come in on the expectation. Markets are in full easing expectation mode, said CFRA Sam Staval. So that's something that we need to look at, and we'll see what happens there. Let's go to Cisco as they crushed earnings, and they still got hit hard here. Revenues were at $14.67 billion versus a $14.62 billion. So up there, EPS also beat by a cent. AI infrastructure orders from the web company hit $800 million in Q4. Full year Deere 25 total topped 2 billion, doubling the expectation. Cisco up 19% year to date versus the S&P 5 S&P X 10%. Deere, let's go to Deere as they reported there, and Deere's guidance misses the mark and starts to really take a hit here. So I think this one might actually cause CAT to really start falling, and CAT was setting up there for a short. So now at this point, I think this is definitely a short. I was even looking at it here. It looked like a head and shoulders at the top around 435. It's dropping fast. That's not going to help the XLI. Hold on. So Deere's full year net income forecast at 4.75 billion to 5.25 billion on the high end, way below the 5.5 billion prior outlook. So that's not good here. Shares down 6%. AG equipment demand facing headwinds. I'm sure it's because their cost is very high, and it just seems like, especially farmers, they can't pay for that kind of bill right now. All right, space getting a deregulation boost this morning. We'll see how that kind of affects rocket companies, but definitely look to see what happens with Rocket Labs. And we just got a rocket company. Let's see how this affects Fly. Guys, I want to see what happens with Fly today. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this IPO because of this news, right? President Trump signed an executive order to slash the red tape for commercial space launches. It speeds up the environmental reviews, clears paths for more launches by 2030, and the big winners, right? Who's going to get the lift there? We'll see what happens there. As of course, there's of course Elon Musk is going to be probably the biggest winner, SpaceX, but we also got Blue Origin, which is BORGN. You got Space, right? Nothing that I think there. RKLB is definitely one name that could lift on this. Fly, and then you also got Lockheed Martin and Boeing. So if you're wondering why Lockheed Martin is getting the lift, well, maybe this is what gets it off the ground. And we have a huge gap to fill here in Lockheed Martin, which would be a move back to 460. I don't know if it's going to get there like fast, but I can tell you it's been trying. You can see the ramp ups. Let's see what happens there in Lockheed Martin. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action there. There was some Foxconn talk, so we're talking more Apple. Of course, Foxconn is an Apple supplier. You could take a look at Foxconn, but it's traded elsewhere. It's not traded in the U.S., but we still got the ticker there. But the key here is that AI server sales are now at 41% of the revenue versus 35% of consumer electronics. Partnered closely with NVIDIA for AI server racks, and forecasting a 170% year-over-year AI server growth in Q3. So this opens the door, guys. I think that it just goes to show you that I think, you guys continue to watch the AI move, and Apple's doing really well here, guys. I think it's not going to stop, even though we had a weak day yesterday. Did Apple close weak? No, it's strong. It's the strongest name of the big boys right now. Even stronger, I feel like, than NVIDIA and AMD. Those are on the pullbacks. Now I'm watching for Apple to be the leader and for Microsoft to catch back, because that was an ugly move yesterday with a big red bar. And Meta, that was looking like it wanted 800. It's right back to 773s this morning. Kava getting the hit also. Of course, restaurants overall really bleeding, guys. It looks pretty ugly out there. Shake Shack definitely taking a big beating. CMG taking a big beating. SG, Sweet Green taking a big beating. All these fast casual fatigue hitting hard, guys. Wing is the only one that's flying high, up 20% year to date. But something tells me that if the restaurants continue in the way they're doing, yeah, there's going to be some ugly moves there in the restaurants. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see if they're able to turn things around. CMG really struggling, down to $43. And of course, Kava not looking like it's getting any time better. I think this might go back down to IPO. And it's crazy to think this got back towards like 150s, 160s, and now could be easily back down to 40. All right, that's going to do it for me. Of course, I can talk about Bitcoin, but I'll be bringing on the guys to talk about that just coming up here at 9 a.m. We'll be joined. We got Kevin in the house. We'll have Michael Noss in the house. Josh will be back. Exciting day, of course. We'll take a look at that action as the boys get on here. Looking around to see what else is out there. There's a lot going on, right? We can get into some of the stocks out there. What I'll do is I'll just start the show up. Let's start that countdown. Let's get to the trading action. There's a lot to talk about and a lot of stocks moving. And I'm gonna start a new day trade account today, guys. So got to get that set up there and ready to rock and roll. But hey, let's keep things moving. Let's start the show really with the countdown. Then I already see Kevin in the back, so I want to bring Kevin on. So let's get that started. Let's start the show, guys. You guys do me a favor, smash the like so we can bring on Kevin.
Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What up, everybody? Let's go ahead. Let's start the show. Let's already bring on Kevin. He's already ready to rock and roll. Let's bring him on. What's going on, Kevin? How are we doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing well. Yesterday,
I love to hear.
that BSLK woke up the shorts for sure. I don't know if you saw that one. BSLK,
no.
We'll get into it. Yeah, but looking good. There's a few plays popping up. There's a lot to go over, so I'm excited to go over some of these plays with you guys.
Yeah, excited indeed. We can get towards the small caps to kick the show off, guys. So if you guys are interested in any of those plays, now's your opportunity to throw them up in the chat. I see some names being mentioned. Yes, the true bullish BLSH. We'll talk a little bit about that one. Can it get moving? I don't think today is going to be the day. I'll tell you that much. And the thing opened up like at 100 and something % premium, which is just absolutely insane, guys. This is the big part why it's important to know what the intended opening price is versus the opening price that the stock actually opens. But that's in a whole nother realm there. So let's get towards, of course, the penny stock action there. I know Kevin got his charts ready to go. So let's go through some of the stocks that you're watching this morning, my friend.
Well, we saw BSLK yesterday. Dude, this thing went, it was kind of ATNF. You remember ATNF because you traded that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve and I were like on the short side. We took it off real quick. And then, the bulls stepped in and squeezed the shorts out. Well, BSLK went from $3 up to 16. And so a lot of shorts got buried underwater on that one. I like to watch some of these plays. Like yesterday, towards the end of the day, ATNF. This one was the one you had traded on the long side. Went from 4 to 18.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday I was going short on this name actually near the open up here because again it's like momentum shifting. Josh said mob shift. It's the same kind of thing. Like they in small cap land, people go from one. They just a flock of geese, whatever you want to call it. They move from one thing to the other. You know.
Yeah, man. And it's all about searching for sympathy, right?
Right. Exactly. The sympathy plays. Yes, that's exactly right. So ATNF sympathy play now is the BSLK. Well, I'm going to be looking for some backside plays like the ATNF. I call myself a backside trader at times. I like to kind of fade these plays kind of slowly, when traders are not looking at them anymore. At least the bulls. They, like you said, have moved on to the next sympathy play where I the short seller, will come in and start fading it on down as the longs profit take. I should go over one that I'm actually working right now, Edit. EDIT. It's a slower play. This one is a hangover setup. These present themselves most days where you get a play that's up the prior day and it's not gapping up. And so the longs, imagine you're a long in this and you don't get a gap up after buying this thing on up the prior day, and it's actually weak. It's a very weak open after hours and pre-markets light in volume. I like to short these because a lot of the long bias traders from the prior day are now unwinding, profit taking their positions.
Yeah, it's not a bad one to watch. It was on my radar. I got a couple other ones too. Let's run through some of these really quickly. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll bring on Michael Noss. Michael Noss already in the background here. Let's bring him on at least to the show. We'll keep running through some of these small caps. Then we'll get into a little bit of what just happened with PPI. Live reaction, definitely a down dip there. But let's keep going through some of these small names that are on your list.
Michael might like this
one. Kind of move along.
W. Yeah, Wolf. I know you you,
Ooh,
you have an eye
financial.
for squeezing some shorts out. This one has a 31% short interest on it.
Hold on, let me show you guys something real quick. This is a great chart. I always like to highlight great charts that I saw yesterday, just completely related to this. Where's
Okay.
where am
Got you,
I?
my friend.
There I am.
There you go. It's a little expansive now.
Yeah, so this one was this is pretty wild. So this is WGMI, which is the Bitcoiners Miner Index. So we'll have Wolf, we'll have Mara, Riot, all those things. And then look down below at that short interest. So as this thing has been rallying, as Bitcoin miners have actually been kind of getting off the mat here, they've been shorting. And look, the last time they were this short was kind of in this area right here before this massive explosion. So I like what you're looking at there. Now, for a day trade, right, either way, it doesn't matter. But this, just when you mentioned a Bitcoin miner, this was like my chart of the day that I saw last time, is that short float. 20% short float on ETF is a really rare thing. So we talked about how they're short Ethereum, new all-time highs, so they're wrong there. They were short Bitcoin, hit new all-time highs yesterday. They were wrong there. And these ones are kind of interesting to me. So yeah, sorry to.
They're just stubborn shorts, huh? They're just overly convicted, you think? I mean,
Yeah, well, and right, they're no different from us. At some point, if you're wrong enough, your broker
Yeah.
comes and knocking, and you got to cover those, regardless what the price is.
the
Right?
good old margin call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still should have been short Ethereum, but we won't get into that conversation. I messed up on that one yesterday for sure. That thing's down almost 7%, about to break the lows right now. So
You would have to
watch
hold it
out
through-
in the
through
crypto
all-time
space.
highs first, right? You wouldn't have stopped out on that all-time high break.
I mean, probably not on the ETHU,
No,
but
I guess it's closed. So you just,
you know what I mean. I didn't have to see that.
Yeah,
I didn't have to see that with the ETHU. The key is look at that chart now, especially the daily chart. We'll get back to the small caps really quickly, but that was just like, to me, like you can just clearly see the doji that was kind of like setting up there, and it was 3 days away from the Bollinger Band. Like, it's very rare times you're going to stay that long away from the Bollinger Bands. Maybe a day, a 2, 3. It'd be very rare to stay 4 days outside of the bands. So it's not that it's going to be a trade, let's say, back to 120. I think you're already getting the trade, which is maybe like 168 to 160. Right, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as the show develops and we talk about some crypto action. Let's get back to Kevin in the small caps here. XPun and some other names. That one's up 84% this morning. Crazy move. Almost breaking 4.
And on earnings. Love with the small caps. But, and oftentimes, just like the BSLK yesterday, it's like the news isn't even great. That's why I call it fundamentals. It's short. It's like shorts getting overly convicted, as Michael was just showing us. And then all you have is buying. Because they're buying, then people are. It's a low float name, so you got these other rooms out there that are all buying this ticker on up, and it just goes GME style. Well, that's what we're seeing with XPON right now, having some euphoria. Now, my style is more shorting euphoria, buying fear as a mean diversion trader. But when you're shorting some of these plays with XPON, I see has got a 3.27 million float, and their volume's 119 million. So if you do the math on that, we've already in pre-market, we've rotated this float. Michael's the smart one in here, right? Are we also? What's the math on that? Bitch, you're smart too.
What happened?
We've rotated this flow. So 119 million divided by 3 million of the float. A lot of long traders, they'll see that float rotation. Yeah, that float rotation, and you're going like 10, 20, 30, 40 times your float. And that's a signal for a lot of traders to, okay, let's buy this thing on up. You got to be hesitant. You got to be cautious on the short side of these things, but that's why we predefined the risk. Go ahead.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we can highlight what float rotation is. And the way I always look at it is, imagine if we're all sitting in a room and there's like 10 pieces of paper and that represents the entire company. We're basically meaning that everybody in the room, we've passed around this company 30 times. So it tells you that this isn't anyone buying and holding the stock. This isn't, large institutions or whatever getting in. It's simply a game of musical chairs at this point, where this is a speculative asset, which can be great, You know, it's one of those can be fine, absolutely, you know, nothing wrong with it. And then what we need to do is understand that with the game musical chairs, at some point it's going to come to an end, and that euphoria, like Kevin was saying, is going to bleed out. Don't know when it is, right? That's the art.
Exactly.
But yeah, it definitely just means that this is just retail, pure retail kind of hype and speculation going on here, which is not a bad thing. You can make a lot of money with retail hype and speculation, but just know the game you're playing, right?
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
love that analogy. The musical chairs. Yeah, nobody's nobody's intending to become a long-term investor in this, but they may by accident.
All right, I'll give a couple other ones that I see out there, and you let me know if you have them on your radar, Kevin. BMRA. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yes, sir. Saw the volume there.
Yeah, that's
Yes, sir.
one that's definitely getting the move, and I do this just with the scanner that I have on TC, but yeah, that one shows up on near the top. 8ERT, it's a penny, real penny one. AERT. So that's going to be one to kind of keep an eye out for. We've talked about
Got it.
XOS. We've talked about that one yet?
XOS.
Another one that I'm looking at.
Yeah. We could see that one kind of slow fade right now is what it's doing. I know
Yeah.
some traders have been working SNOA as well.
SNOA is definitely one that it's on my radar. I was watching
I'm
it right
seeing,
now.
if you look at this chart here at 650 is kind of a ceiling that's developed. And it's already kind of given a move and hit that as level resistance. So backside, you have that defined risk. They oftentimes will do liquidity sweeps up around those areas though, because they know that we've gone over this. That's where all the stops are. So, give it a little bit of breathing room, but clearly that's what's holding up right now on it.
Yeah, it looks to me like it has one more attempt to get really hot. I don't know if it's going to be a push to 650 or 7, but I'm looking at this one maybe getting towards there and then slowing down a little bit. We'll see what happens on the momentum. But not a bad one to watch, right? Definitely the risk to return was there this morning.
Yeah.
Now we'll see what happens if it's
What's
a
the
fade.
sympathy play going to be today after the ATNF, BSLK? Where are they going to shift today?
So higher price names, right? That's what it seems like we've been seeing. Not the dollar name moving higher, let the above $6. So that's why SNOA kind of plays within that, right? You're kind of closer towards your $8 stock at the pre-market high this morning. So those are the types of names that I would watch, Kevin. So you want to find stocks that are in similar price range in these small caps. If you're seeing them move from $6, it's a lot of $6 names that are moving. Watch other $6 names, right? ATNF was one of those names that definitely started at the $5 spot and then kind of went higher. Yesterday we had that SBLK, right? Or which one was it?
BSLK. Yeah.
BSLK. And then that one, where was it at? Where did it start the day?
Similar range, right?
Yeah, in the $5, and then yesterday it started the day at $8, or actually started the range in like 3 or 4. So
But,
above 3 is one of the kind of key factors that I'll give you a nice furu. I'll call him a furu that follows a good Cameron Ross trade above $3. He doesn't want to go below $3 because he needs to have at least like 1 million shares for it to even make sense for him and things like that. So he looks for above 3 always. Key range 3 to 10.
That's an important note there. So TRIB is popping up. This is under that $3. I see 220 as resistance left of the chart.
There you go. This is
they just came out with news, at 9 a.m. by the way. So
is it just me, or do you guys not see Kevin's charts?
Yeah, let us know.
I see
I'm seeing
playing in picture up top.
Okay.
I see it.
Let me refresh.
I'm not sure. Maybe just click on the layers. Maybe that's some of those layers are affecting you.
TRIB's.
I know I see TRIB. Chat, let me know if I'm crazy, but
biotech receives regulatory approval to begin FDA cleared. Again, the news is whatever on these. If it's earnings or like phase 3, I pay more attention.
Yeah, Trip is ripping. That one's going
I'm
strong.
About to start a short there, FYI.
I can't blame you.
Which do.
When you do these, do you pick off levels or do you just go off a feel?
Always look left to predict right. So like
Mhm.
IPOs, I generally will not trade because I don't have any levels to look at. But
Like for
yeah,
trib,
technicals
what
are
would
part
it
of it.
be? Let's do it quickly here.
220, 220
220
is an area I'd be looking at. So it's
above
so
Yeah,
close.
see
twos,
that high. Yeah.
above twos, and you like that 20 level, right?
Always the
I've heard
20.
you. I've
Yeah,
heard you mention it. I can't.
I'm gonna throw
You
an
see,
order out.
you
Yeah,
see.
let me.
I hear it. I hear it, Kevin. I hear you mention things. Those little tidbits. The 20s is a classic one. I used to always look for pops above the whole dollar, about 20 cents, and then a
Got an
pullback
order.
below that whole dollar, and then I'd go long. So I can't blame you. Um,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
$2 showing up there.
I
You
got to
focus
order a
on your
205.
trade. We'll
Yeah,
see if
and
we get
then
the fill
220
there.
add. So I usually start with a third at least of the position.
Yeah, another like tidbit that I like to look for is like maybe looking for the big order size on the level two, right? Where's the big order? And then I want to be slightly just either above him or right at his level. That's what I like because I'm using the big order and kind of jumping on the big boy. Like you want to put your big size there. All
Hmm.
right, well, I'll try to use that to see if it hits it, fills it, and then knocks down. Right. So we'll see if it gets there to that $2. There's $2 showing up there. We're about to break two. We'll see if we start to climb.
Right,
There's 206. There's the
gotta
220s. Did it get
fill.
there?
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I got to
Oh,
fill
not
TRIB. I'm
enough.
working two right now. Edit on the slow hangover side, and then trib. Usually going to be red on these euphoric names. Generally, like when you start them.
Yeah, when you start, that's
Yeah,
expected.
when you
The
start.
key
Yeah,
is just not a huge bleed immediately. It's just slight red, right?
And that's
How
that's a
much do you
good
risk
tidbit
on a
too.
trade like this, right?
So generally, I'm going for quota for me. I'm trying to work that $100 day. So on a trade
$100.
like this, yeah, I'm not going to give it much more than like 50, $60 a risk just with the small uh,
Yeah.
account eval I'm working right now. So these can get out of hand. It's important to place the stops on them, but pre-market obviously. I like to utilize the OCO orders on TTP. I don't know what you guys think about those. I love
Boy,
I
you're
working
always
those
say
speaking
orders.
that's
you're
right.
speaking some language for my man over here.
Mr. Michael.
That's right. First,
Sorry,
yeah, no, just first
the
step of
adjustments.
automation is alerts, right? Second step is just putting the orders out there, right? I always say you'll never be the best button
There
presser
we
in the
go.
world,
That looks
right?
better.
You're not going to be the guy who hits the button the best. So put out your orders. If you like it at a price, great. If you
Yeah, and
want to get out a price, great. Just put them out there.
it
Hmm.
prevents you from going deer in headlights too, in case
Hmm.
this thing does get, the whole chat's pumping it up to like 3 or 4. Just have
Or
your orders out
well, and
there.
even further than that, like what if your computer blows up, right? What if your
Right.
internet gets kicked out? What if a
Exactly.
power, right? At least you can
And
go,
that
okay,
has happened.
right?
I've heard many stories.
I've got stops. They're in the system and in trade the pool. They're all held server side, so it means that even if right you don't have internet connection or whatever, it's just there. And then of course we have a iPhone app. So from the time that you're picking up your iPhone and checking on your positions, you know that you're not going to get an account blown or right blown into the water because you have them there. And again, if you like a stock at 10, just put out a limit order at 10. Right? You're
Yeah.
not going to be the best guy who's saying I'm going to wait for it to hit 10 and buy it. Like you can put out the order, put a stop loss, put a profit target. You can do all that. Just yeah. So that's again, it's like baby steps to automation to systemization.
Yeah, a lot of topping now in that trib here. We'll see if it gets through the levels or not. But now we're starting to see a little bit more sizing. Not seeing huge on the level two just yet. I'm looking to see if there's some big sizing coming in there. Now they tried to push the 211s there. It's about like 11,000 shares there. Doesn't look
I'm gonna
too
have a
bad.
225 order out to hit it
Yeah.
again, and then
Yeah, I can't blame you. I mean, you're right there. At least you still haven't gotten a 9 EMA retracement. We'll see if we run into that. Sizing coming starting to get filled. You can see this right here. This is the type of size that I look for right there. 22,000 shares just went through there. I'll show you guys that. 22,000 shares at 219. So that was the kind of the order size. Remember we talked 220s, right? You're talking 220 level. You got a big order size at 219, 22,000 shares. So a lot of times I put mine like a cent or two above that. That's where I would be getting short. And where would that have been? 220s, right on where you were looking at. So we'll see if it gets to 225 here, gives you another fill there. And look, quick action there. Let's see if it starts to head right back down. I'll come to you, Kevin, to let us know about the trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to roughly 250, and we'll stop out 250. But yeah, I got a couple hundred here, 212 right now.
All right, we'll see what happens here, guys. Definitely starting to run into that sizing. Now I'd want to see sizing just leveled in. Where is it leveled up? 230s. 230s. Now you got 10,000 shares waiting there. So that 10,000 share order can act as a resistance now. Now I'd like to see it go quickly to that 230 and reject. So any pullbacks here could be a nice little sign that you're starting to run into some weakness, and you can get a pullback maybe back below the $2 spot, right? We'll see what happens here on Trib. Not a bad trade there. Let's go to the overall market. You keep us in tune with your trade, my
Will do.
friend.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to go over now to Michael, and let's talk a little bit more about the overall market. What's going on, Michael? How we doing, man? Let's get your screen share up when you get a chance.
Yeah, I had to
No worries, no worries.
back, grab it right there.
There we are. Let's get it rolling here. Boom.
Oh, yeah. First of all, looks like we're down ticking a little bit.
Yeah, we are down
but
today, and it's ugly.
We are
It's ugly out
down
there.
0.3%. So that puts us 0.4% from all-time highs, less than 0.5% from all-time highs. The main thing I want to talk about yesterday is just the insane divergence, right? We had the SPY doing nothing, a little bit of a doji, called an evening star, whatever it is. But then look at that IWM chart, just off to the races all day. So if you were large cap tech, you had a bad day. If you were small caps or really anything else, you just fine. You were loving life, right? You can see that in the Qs too, where the Qs were actually flat on the day with a red candle. And again, back to IWM, massive move. So we've broken this base on small caps, and we've continued to push higher. As long as you're not in big cap tech, it's interesting. And we're actually finally an earshot from all-time highs on small caps. So we're up in, right, all-time highs are 243. We were able to clear this resistance and this resistance pretty handily. And remember, they are short the SPY, but they are way more short the IWM. So if we're looking for short squeezes, that's where we're going to see. So let's take a look. Just go to like the ES. So grab the futures so we get the overnight action. And let's just do like a 30-minute chart. Right? These are one of the times that, yeah, we're down ticking, but it's time to zoom out, right? We are sitting right near yesterday's low, and we gapped up yesterday. So, and we are right in this area of the kind of pre-market range and post-market on Tuesday. So, right, lows not seen since Tuesday, meme that everyone tweets. So will be interesting to see, right? We obviously had a negative reaction to whatever news came out. And ever since then, we've just been chilling. So is this a buy the dip, right? We know they're short. We know they have to at some point buy the dip. But like we've been talking about, we are now how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row without breaking a prior day's low. So a little bit of a pullback, at least one day that breaks the prior day low, which we've now done on the futures, just not on the S&P 500 just yet. You have to at some point have a lower high. And maybe today's the day, but just, put that in context. We're still above. This is the last time the bears tried to scare you, and we're still well above that price. And then, right, the time that the bears tried to scare you before that was, I think right here was World War III, and we're above that. So just a little bit of a pullback. I could see 6,300 and have it be a totally normal, just retest of a breakout.
Yeah, the only thing is for the day traders today, that's going to put some trouble out there. And definitely if you're on a longer term position, then maybe you can hang in here. But these are going to be ugly days where you look into your watch list and it's just bleed. So if you bought yesterday, you're probably underwater. So I think that's the hard part today. I saw a lot of positioning opening up yesterday into that dip, into the SPY dip and the Q's dip, and now they're getting caught. And so just like I am caught in this couple swing trades here, now DKNG was up almost $1 this morning. It's almost down $1. So moves like this, like QS, I was up 50, 60 cents, now in the red, right? So watching the SPY action here to see if we break the low from the PPI which was the 641.36. If we break that, that's when I got to start letting go. But definitely you're going to see some pressure if you open up new trades yesterday. And all those guys that opened up ETHU yesterday, oh man, I don't know why I didn't just set up into them. I feel like finding all those tweets from yesterday or the day prior from yesterday, and then just being like, dude, what were you thinking?
Well, yeah, if you're buying the all-time high break after it's just doubled off the lows, you're a
Yeah,
bit
dude,
at
it
that
just
point.
doesn't
But
make sense to me. But and then the
most
funny part is it
people
was like
wouldn't have done that, right?
big names like money managers, like the guys that you see on CNBC on a daily basis. It's like, come on, man.
And it depends on their time frame, right? If you're planning on holding this for weeks or months, then buying all-time highs is generally a good thing, right? What you don't want to do is you don't want to buy all-time lows. You don't want to buy. You can go back if you go back in Ethereum and just look, right? Last all-time high was right here, jiggled around for a couple days, and then went up 200%. We did this on Bitcoin before, right? All-time high before that was right here. You broke that, jiggled around for a bit, and then went up 6,000%. So, even if you look at this, if you're a long-term investor and you're looking at this just as a massive 3-year base, buy it, right? Wait for pullbacks like this would be something that a shorter-term trader would be more interested in. But as we rip, if you're breaking a multi-year base, ooh, that's a good thing. You have to understand it's crypto, so you got to be totally fine with a wiggle, like 10,
Yeah.
20% on
Got
Ethereum.
to be.
That's a wiggle, right?
Guys,
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
I'm gonna
What's up,
revisit.
Kevin? How you doing, man?
I'm gonna revisit Trib. I took it off at 220.
Okay.
Started going sideways. So
Yeah.
I know, Steph, you were asking what's your best advice for getting out of a losing trade. You don't like stop loss orders, but seems like it. So you're utilizing mental stops. Well, I think the best advice is size small enough where you can actually you think about it, where your judgment's not clouded. Maybe you're sizing too heavy, because I've talked to a lot of traders, they size too heavy, and what that does is it clouds their judgment, and then they just don't think about the stop. What separates gamblers from traders is traders, they focus risk, gamblers focus the money. So before you ever get into trade stuff, think, where is my exit? Where am I predefining this risk at? And you have to stick to it. But size appropriately. The sizing is the emotional dial on your trading account.
I love that. Yeah.
One thing that
you
go ahead.
You should, like we talked about earlier. I know you don't like hard stops, but you should use hard stops.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I'll be in the different camp there. I don't believe you need hard stops. The key is you need to build up the discipline, and Steph, you're not giving yourself enough room. That's why you're not able to cut out at that moment. It's too quick, and the sizing is probably your issue. It's probably not that it's too tight. It's that you're too big. And so when you're getting those moments, it's what I call make it or break it moments. And so in your mind, you say, let me hang into my trade idea. I got this.
Yeah, increase bias with that sizing, like you're saying. Yeah.
And make it or break it type of feeling. If you're feeling like that, we're too big, right? And that's where I think a lot of traders get to. And part of that is the sizing issue and giving yourself more room. This is why I also think that there's something called like a mental stop and a hard stop. So what do I mean by that? So have yourself a mental stop. Let's say it's whatever it might be. The stock went through $2. You bought it at $2.10, and you're expected to risk to $2. Well, it's okay to maybe go to $1.98, but have yourself a hard line where no matter what, if that number hits, you're out of the trade. That's more of your protective stop that some people use, but you don't have to actually use it as a stop. You can get out. Just make sure that you know what's kind of like your end line in this trade. And that doesn't have to be your first stop. That could be kind of more, hey, I'm in this trade. I'm trying to risk off of this, but the maximum I could risk on this trade is $100. I'm going to take the trade thinking I'm risking about $70. If it gets to 100, I don't care what shows up.
Yeah.
I'm out of the trade. That's how I used to protect myself when I used to use nothing but me triggering out of everything.
Yeah, I think that's real important.
And the key here is that Steph's trading small caps names. I think if you show stops in small caps, you get hunted. I don't care what anybody says. I can show you from countless times that I put them out, and I've shown it even here where I've been
You're
like, "Look,
round.
watch." I
Now,
put them out there, and
I
boom,
feel you on
they
that
get
'cause,
triggered.
yeah, for
But on
several weeks
your
straight, I was
like on an
saying,
eval account, you think they're
It,
fine in the eval account? They're like,
it's the broker's eval. It's going to be the broker's algorithm that comes and chases you. It's not necessarily only the
dude,
servers.
I've heard this said
Remember,
before.
brokers are trying to make money too, regardless of the fact, right? They're trying to take your money. So
but if it's an eval, there's no money. It's
it's
like
still your money.
But
It's your packaged money.
But the thing is, you
So
are probably psychologically placing your stop where most are still, even on the
that's
eval. So
the
that's
key
why it
too,
feels like
right?
that.
that's the thing, because yeah, I know market makers that work on the floors, right? These they don't see the stops. They don't have that ability.
The
It's
algo
all held
though,
server side on the broker.
yeah, the
The algos don't. It's all held server side, so they can't see it. They don't know what it's.
It's a
they don't
trap.
do it themselves, but the computers do it. They definitely spread them out and come and get you. I can tell you guys, I talked to a trader like Dennis Dick that trades a lot of pre-market after hours action and trades intraday, and he even says it too. You're using stops, you're going to get run over. So I don't know. Hey,
Yeah,
I can
I've heard
say
it
that
said too.
I've
Well,
spoken
pre-market
to
and after
plenty of
hours makes sense. Well, there's no stops pre-market and after hours,
yeah, yeah,
but
but
the
You know,
spread can be wide enough. But
yeah.
if you're trading something that did 100 million shares today, they're not hunting your
And the
couple
key,
of
I think, is how tight you
trend.
are, though. How tight you are, because like a Dennis Dick is trading for 1 or 2%, and yeah, you show your hand when your stop is 0.3% of the trade, you're going to get stopped out.
yeah.
That's just what I. That's just from what I seen.
No, I went
But
for like weeks getting stopped out at the top, and then it tilted me to the point where I was like, I'm not only not showing my hands don't exist, and then of course that was awful. Don't do that. I'm not advising that, but
And then it
you
also
gotta be
tells
careful in
you,
tilt mode.
it also just tells you that there's no one way, right? You're seeing that plenty of different traders trade differently. I think
Hmm.
that what you need to find is what works for your type of stocks, right?
Yeah,
In large cap names, yeah, you can have more of that stop. You're going to have a bigger range. Swing trading, you can have a bigger range. You can put those stops. Day trading, small cap names, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
someone advised me one time, Steph, and I really like this. They said
Market's coming,
for small
guys.
cap,
Let's get
yeah,
ready to rock and roll. Market's coming
just
right really quickly here.
shortly. Just put your entries where your stop would be, and that
That
could help you out.
that can definitely help you too. We've talked about that here plenty of times. Let's see if the SPY can just lift off of here. Remember, we didn't come for those pre-market lows. That's how I stuck to my swing trades, guys. I told myself, just look at that low. If it breaks, yeah, I got to cut them. I got to cut them, and I'm not going to be happy about cutting them. You guys know I've been in these trades now for 2 or 3 days. I hate cutting trades that I'm in for 2 or 3 days and up. Like I keep getting up like 2 or 3%, just not getting that 3 or 4% return. So let's see what happens here, guys. Market's about to open, giving us a quick little drive right before this. We'll see if some of these stocks can go green. I mean, you see my watch list here. There's 53 items, one in the red. So focusing here to see what can lead us. And I think it's going to be important to see what type of stocks are leading
Yeah,
out the gates
let's get
here.
it, guys. Stay disciplined, guys. Out
Let's
of the
go.
gate.
Let's go. Market's going. And of course, Kevin, if you have smaller names you see ripping or want to bring it up, just let us know and we'll bring the chart up or we'll let you take the wheel.
Yes, sir.
The trades are coming through. I'm buying. I'm buying all the things. It looks like
She's
UWM.
Trying to
buying it
hang
good.
in there in DraftKings. I'm going to hang in there for right now and hang in there in QS. We'll see what happens out the gates here, guys. That Trib is starting to tickle down a little bit. We'll see what happens on Trib
Yeah,
and other names.
yeah, yeah.
Chat, feel
Yeah,
free to throw up some names too, guys.
Trib, you could risk the highs there on the short side. Xpon is getting a pop right now. That one up towards 5, I think, is interesting for a short Xpon, but it is getting a morning rip right now. Be mindful of that one. And WULF with the 31% short interest is pulling back some. off of its pre-market highs.
Steph's talking about when things get out of control, re-entering on a clear mind. That's 1000% what it is. A lot of times too. One of the things is if you're feeling like you're losing the present moment, that's what I call losing in the zone by Mark Douglas. And when you're not in the zone, get out, get out, get out now.
Yeah.
You'll notice when you're in the zone, you
You'll
don't
feel it,
focus
yeah.
on anything. It's crazy. That's being in the present moment. That's why I also recommend. It's more of a philosophy book, but Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, dude, big book for me. I'll tell you guys that.
Yeah, I'm a big Mark Douglas fan.
Yeah, check out that Power of Now if you're a big believer in the present moment. I think that's what it is a lot of times for traders. We need to be in the present moment and not reacting on our biases, but more along what we're actually seeing. Like kind of like a sports guy, we can plan, but once the game starts, we got to play the game.
Yeah. Yep,
So
without
far
fear,
we're-
as he would say. Yeah.
Yeah, so far we're holding
Coming to
in
you,
pretty
man.
good here. I'm a little overwhelmed. I got a lot of buys going on here. I'll go over, but basically just looking to see what we're doing, hanging on to this low here, this kind of 642 even. Not really any panic off the open anyway. We're just kind of open. We're hanging out, looking at some of the crypto space, Ethereum, small bounce, Bitcoin, small bounce off the open, IWM, small caps, just hanging out, right? So nothing really.
Guys, I'm gonna try X-Pon against the highs, guys. FYI.
Yeah, so no ripping, no dumping, no real panic going on. We're just kind of hanging out. So let's see what happens in a bit. For just some of my trades quickly, bought this WUMC here on the lows. I don't know what this LGIH, picked up that name. CNRC, don't know what that is on the name, and bullish. This IPO yesterday, you can see the green arrow alert. That's just a view app to view app trade. So got killed after its IPO. So that's where I come in to fade the peoples.
Yeah,
X-Pon half off down here in the 350s.
One name to go with IPO names fly, right? I'll keep an eye out for that. I did get oh, that's Josh's chart. That's what it is there. But I did get their XYZ. I saw in the chat someone mentioned, what do you like about XYZ, or how do you think about it? I'll tell you one thing, I'm long it. This is the pattern that I've been trying to trade. It was on the playbook, so I just bought the dip through the 76 and recovery back through the 76. Coming to you, man. What you got here?
All out X-Pon. Look at this elevator down.
oh.
Man, if Steve was in here, Steve, he's getting
Cash,
this, he's
cash in
liking
it,
this.
man.
Yeah. I mean, I had a single entry there, but for about 393. So what I liked here was the magic 420. It popped up to exactly 420, got rejected, and that was kind of my gut signal right there. So I wanted to give it room. I was going to give it room to 5 in size. A bit on that one, but yeah, elevator down in the quick moves like that. I gotta lock it in, even if small, because oftentimes you will see what it's doing right now, 30 or 40 cent pop as shorts are covering their position. And it's only natural. So in the big flushes, you gotta lock in some. But Fades, you get that one too?
Yeah, QS ripping here, guys. I want to add to it on the swing, guys. I'm looking for a bigger day on that one.
Trib.
Adding to that.
SPY holding its turn and looking like we're gonna hit highs here. So we gotta keep an eye. Oh, we're we're popping now.
Mindful of Snowa, guys. 650, remember, was our level. She is getting a pop up there right now. We'll see where the momentum shifts in small caps.
XYZ looking good. I want to see if PayPal can take a lead there. I'm also looking at my watch list to see what's leading here. I'm seeing Tempest up at the top, Ouster, Triple U. That one really crushed me yesterday. Maybe today's the day that it finally goes through 10. That thing's had crazy wicks on the downside, so a lot of buying pressure coming in on that thing. We'll see what happens. SMR in the green today. That's going to be interesting. That's had 5 or 6 red days, so I just want to mention those. SNOA, what you seeing there?
Halted up, Snowa. So
remember what I talked about? This could be the one.
This could be the one. Yeah, man. It's got some pre-market resistance that's heavy, but yeah, we'll see.
I almost feel like going to Cameron Ross's trading room right now, because I'm telling you, he's probably long.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to have your eyes in all places for that.
All right,
Kevin.
DraftKings really pushing here, up about $60 now. I'm going to leave break even on this thing because it was down of like close to about $100 this morning. So, yeah, DraftKings recovered its levels. Now I want to leave break even because I'm not going to lose on these trades anymore, especially with the market bouncing back the way it is. I did add to QS, so I do want to mention that. And
I'm hitting
yeah,
X punt again, guys. FYI,
keep
it's
going
going to be a
with it, man.
sloppy seconds move. Well, it's sometimes I'll leave leftovers, and of course we'll get this pop like this. When in hindsight, I'm like, I should have taken it, and on a sloppy seconds bounce, re-hit it on a short. Clear resistance here is like 360. So back up into the consolidation where a lot of longs are looking to break even would be the stop on this trade.
I just watched the market just popping through highs, retracing a lot of that move. We're getting underperformance now from small cap, so just FYI. Last couple days, it's been the large cap Qs have almost retraced that whole CPI dip. Bitcoin's ripping. It seems like it's a large cap tech day, but we're definitely moving to the upside across the board here on most things, and pretty fast too. So good for us, I guess.
I like that. I guess at the end, I guess, right?
That's like I'll take it. I bought a whole bunch off the open there, and again, we always talk about it's not the news that matters. It's how does the market react to it? Is it
Right.
bad CPI means the Fed can cut now? Is that what's like? Is it bad news, good news? Is good news bad news? What's going on? But so far they're buying the dip. And we do have some FOMC dudes talking, but really not till later. We got old Barkin. Barkin's doing some barking later.
Barkin's barking up a storm out there, so be careful.
Yeah, we are on the SPY, about halfway through the range. On the Qs, we are almost erased everything on the Qs. So
The funny
call your
part
local
is
polar bear. Give him a hug.
the
I hear
funny
beef
part
soup.
is
that you?
This doesn't look good. Still a lot of things in the red here, guys. From the open, at
Yeah,
least
it's
the
tech.
index wise.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
big
lot
cap
though.
tech
It's all
pulling
red.
us.
It's all red.
Yeah, big cap
It's all
tech is
red though.
holding us up.
You see this area right here? This is not common for me. Literally a sea of blood.
Yeah, this is definitely own your tech stocks today.
If you don't have the right tech
ripping, but
stock, even if you're like XLK, is it even up?
up from the open, yeah, it's
Okay,
almost
there you
closing the
go.
gap, which is pretty big.
Pump
If it
factor.
does close the gap in reverse, it's great. But again, we talking about this. This is rotational markets. The last
Yeah,
2
man.
days
Rarely.
from Monday, you've had to own small caps to do really well. Small caps have been doing
AMD and
great.
Cisco are two big tech names running, just to give you guys at least what's holding us up.
Oh, good. I
looking-
hold Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco's a good one there. That's not a bad one.
I was not happy
Risking
over earnings. That's for
for
sure.
the XYZ trade, I know that there's a trader out there watching it with me. I'm risking off the low, so I put 75.49 out there, trying to do more and more of this buying near the VWAP and then just letting it go. And so we'll see what happens there on XYZ. There's QS now starting to lift, so that's really good looking move there for me finally. And I stepped up to the plate. You see 600 shares, guys. I said, you know what? I've been around this area for too long. It's either going to come back and break me out, break even here, or it's actually going to get going today. I'm going to take the shot. Now I just want to secure cash in this. What do I mean? Why to secure some cash? Because we don't know if the market's going to rip or not. So at this point, I'm going to put a 938 stop. That's $57 in the green, and just try to let this work to 10. If it gets to 10, I'm golden. If it pulls back and gets me now, because I'm putting the stop out like I talk about, watch how we'll see if they come after me. But you guys see me here actually showing the hand like I like to do. I tell you guys it all. There it is, $57. Let's let this try to run through. I'm trying to let it get to like 975. That would be a nice little breakout right there. You're talking close to 300. I'll take the money and run.
So channeling my inner Steve here. Just looking at the
He's here
the
with
50%. It's funny that's right where we stopped. So I just grabbed from the pre-market highs, right, roughly before we had the drop, and then the lows after that news event, that PPI or whatever it was, we came right back up to the 50% area, and that's where we're stalling for now. So let's see if we can hold above VWAP. If that's something that we can have, then eventually we can start to push up from there. And again, for reference, just to calm everyone down, we are down 0.35 from all-time highs, a third of 1% down from all-time highs. So that just means A, nothing's crazy yet. B, if we wanted to pull back, right, a 4 to 5% pullback is likely, and that's 10x down from where we are. So I'm watching this 50% zone. If we get through that, the next area is a 2-day VWAP up at 644. See what happens. Looks like we're breaking that now. If we get through the 2-day VWAP, then when we end up hitting highs, and we'll see what's going through there.
I had to cancel there. It went right to my stop. It literally went to a tick. I had to cancel it. If not, it would have triggered it. Like the spread just went down right to it. The spread literally even dropped a penny just to try to grab me.
When I'm on stream and I'm like, I'm getting in this, and at the same time I'm getting out. That's happening.
That's just a part of it. That's just a part of it.
That's trading.
Especially for trading the ones that you trade. Sometimes it's going to be, I'm in, I'm out.
Exactly.
That's
And it
just
also
part of the
shows,
game.
like, again, the people I have found that are always the worst traders are the people like really strongly opinionated. So that ability to say, I'm
Yeah,
in,
so you're wrong.
I'm wrong, I'm out, and make that flip in your brain really quick. That's a huge trait for traders for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's vital. I think it's very important. All right, just trying to hang on here, guys. The pullback's happened in a little bit, and I'm just trying to wait for the pullback to kind of catch here. 9 EMAs holding on the SPY. Let's see if that can start to make the move. Q's holding up here. Looking for the next expansion here, but it ain't easy. It ain't easy. I don't even want to see stocks go back to VWAP today, the ones that I'm trading. Ulster. That thing don't want to stop, man.
Xpana stopped out of on the. So I mean, I gave everything back there. That thing's climbing all the way back up.
High flyer of the day, Ulster. I'd say that's a really nice move, guys. Look at the daily chart during all this weakness. What weakness on this chart? This thing wants to rip, man. Ulster's on a move. And of course, that's a LiDAR play in drone action. And it's also LiDAR overall. So maybe AUR can start to get the lift there, just to give you guys trades that are relationship-wise similar. I know that you were trading, I think, LiDAR, was it? LIDR?
I recall that ticker.
I think it
Yeah,
was
LiDAR. LIDR. That was a
Man,
while ago.
AERT pointed out, Mitch, that hit the magic 20 and pulled back right off of that.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, God, I gotta get this bot going. What's the problem is like the the tunneling. Like I get
another one.
I get tunneled on one, and there's like 4 or 5 other real good ones out there.
Oh, I'll get you there. Don't you worry.
I gotta either cut QS right now or go break even. It's right on where I would get stopped out, so just gotta hold on here.
So defense sector is up and holding strong. The SPY is just basing. It's holding strong above its VWAP. So, but if you look at something like IWM, it's down. It's hitting new lows of the day. So we're getting that rotation where large cap stocks are doing great, and everything else not so much. And it was the exact opposite of what we saw yesterday, in which was interesting. One thing I was looking at your QS. One thing just to watch, Mitch. I know you're not.
Yeah.
The VWAP's right there. And
That's
look,
exactly it.
Right to that price, and it's so far. So that's not the 1-day VWAP and the 2-day VWAP are both sitting at like 935. So
everyone's at the same spot.
Everyone's
We
hanging
keep,
out there.
and I talked about it, right? We keep getting these ripped to like 950s and then just stops.
Yeah.
And I see it because it's a lot of size that's trading in the name. Lots of size is going through there. I'm probably going to get cut on DraftKings. I have the break even stop right here. I'll put it like $4 down in risk, but probably going to get stopped out in DraftKings here, guys. It's a little frustrating on that DraftKings one because I feel like it's trying to make a move, but the daily chart just doesn't really get going here.
Yeah, SPY news. So this is the exact opposite of what we saw yesterday. Remember, I was talking about how since Monday, IWM up Qs flat to down. Now we're getting here the Qs hitting new highs of the day, and then we'll go to the small caps. All right, so QQQ pointing up, IWM pointing down. So the rotation back out. So I'm hope small caps had a fun 2 days. It looks like that's probably all you get for now, and it's the large cap that's holding us up here.
All right, you trying to make the move to 10 again here. I might take like a $50 shot here on you. Let's see it. Let's do a scalp trade here.
TRIB is painful in the 150s now.
With a little scalp here for you.
I didn't get to call this one out in real time. Just a lot going on.
Burke.
In and out, right? So you can see the green arrow. That's the entry. 2-day VWAP's the target. So that just ripped. I wish they could all happen like that. But yeah, so far, again, of all the names that I mentioned, this YWMC bouncing, CNRC bouncing, CSCO, right to the 2-day VWAP. Look at that. Just hits that to the tick and then reverses. And then my BL, my bullish, just holding on, right? My stop's sitting right down here, and it's just holding on here. So another re-entry signal for if I did get stopped out right there. Maybe I'll add, maybe potential add. But again, the idea behind this is just, hammered. It's the VWAP to VWAP move, right? Can we get from here? I don't think I'll hold all the way up to 88. That would just be insane. I'll probably just start piecing out if we get any kind of pop. So I'm watching like pre-market highs. So that's like 79.80. If we can get anywhere near that, I'll probably take a chunk off and just see if I can hold the rest.
All right, guys, tight stop here for you. It's going to be just about 3 cents there. I'm just trying to take a scalp towards 10. Trying to get some money back of yesterday's disaster in you. QS holding there. I did get out of DraftKings. I could add to QS if I wanted to. Don't know if I want to, but just talking about it there. Bullish starting to get going there. Let's look at Fly also. A reason why I say Fly is there was an executive order that came out that could be actually helping Firefly Aerospace. So the executive order itself could trigger like a little bit of a run in this. So that's one thing that you didn't hear talked about probably on CNBC this morning. Those are the kind of craps that I really focus in on, guys. The small details. So to me, I keep that one on the radar. It doesn't even need to be where you're like going in it quickly. I'd wait for that thing to break like 52 and really kind of show me a move.
Yeah, that's the one we talked about yesterday. If you look at like a 30-minute chart.
Yeah, you wanted to break it.
You just draw this like box, right?
Yeah.
And just we're in
Just
here.
wait
You
for
want
that.
to see that to resolve higher.
Yeah, and with a lot of volume, right? Like a quick influx
Lots
of
of
volume,
Tilray
right?
along. Ooh, look at Tilray popping here.
Cannabis, baby, cannabis.
Something I haven't seen in a while. I'm still.
Yeah, I believe what Trump like announced declassification of marijuana. I think that's why that sector's
I'm
getting a
still
little
holding
pop.
strong. I'm sitting almost to a trip on this one, triple, and then I'm gonna
Well,
be
guys,
after.
let's step up to the plate here. Stepping up in QS.
Did hold that area that I mentioned really good. This 2-day VWAP.
Yeah.
So it looks like again
now
that's where
now we're
algorithms
pushing.
hang out on
Now
these
we're pushing,
VWAPs.
guys. Let's go. We got 900 shares now on the swing account. That's a lot. That's a
The
lot.
SPY continues higher, and then if we get up to again 644, that's going to be that exit there. And we just tapped the 2-day VWAP on the Qs again, almost erasing the entire PPI print. So the market does not care. So we're back up. But again, like we're talking about, big cap tech doing well. IWM still at lows, right? Just hit new low of the day. So it's
PayPal
where
stop
you
me.
are.
XYZ stop out.
I'm trying Snowa, guys. After that halt down, I'm gonna set the stop clearly up at resistance again. It's really, I mean, knocking on that door 3 times after this halt down would be kind of wild. But we've been seeing the wild west the last few days. So
Here's
that's why
one
you
to
gotta
keep
set
an
your
eye out
stop.
for. A D low. I don't know if you traded that one. DLO.
Okay, let me take a look.
Oh.
Yeah, that chart looks hot, man. D low.
Oh yeah, I did see that one this morning. Yeah, I mean 15's been kind of the pre-market high there. It's got It's got some room on, what is that, earnings? Trading higher up the price target. Analyst upgrade, it looks like.
All right, QS pushing here. Come on, let's go, let's go. You pushing. Come on, come
Guys, I
on.
alerted MNTS in chat, but this was a
There you go,
hot play
momentous.
yesterday. I'm working like a short backside here. Stop's going to be
Yeah.
back up over the previous close-ish.
Remember, that's part of the executive order. So if you've seen some maybe upside off of that, I think maybe some people had the rumor already.
Ooh, SPY
see.
pop.
Gotcha.
Big pop there. Very close to the 2-day VWAP. Almost, again, a race now on the SPY, the average or the PPI print. So,
Yeah. That PPI print, though, what I'm really focused on is how Jerome reacts off of that because it did show some inflation. All right, here's a push there. You now to 40 up 45. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the break even because it's a scalp and just let it go. QS trying to break 955. Let's see if we can get that to break here. It got 900 shares. Want to see this go to the 960s, 970s, and I can sell some into that rip.
XOS, penny play shooting up. I'm looking left there to predict right. We're seeing some upper wicks. A recent upper wick in February up to $9. XOS.
XOS.
Got a lot of upper wicks here, about around 6. They're trading higher after better than expected Q2 results. So reminds me of BSLK yesterday. And in that price range that Money Mitch pointed out.
Yeah, that's the sweet spots, guys. Stocks love to run in those sweet spots. The under $3 stocks, I think they're more like scalps. It's harder to run for like a long-term run, right? Like let's say the 60-cent stocks go to $1, but they very rarely go to $3. But $3 stocks have a tendency of going to $10 and $12 all the time.
it's that mid cap area that we talk about a lot, right?
Yeah.
Where if you're not so small that you're junk and you're not so huge that you're immobile, right? You get that kind of middle ground of they make money, they produce products, they're actually real companies, and then they still have that room to go. So SPY through the 2-day VWAP now, Qs well above it. Qs are now
15%.
above the PPI print.
All right, guys, looking to sell into this move here for QS. Let's see if I can get a nice little $300 winner to start the day.
Nice.
Come on. Come on. Just need
on,
a couple
QS.
more cents. I need 971.
I just looked at XOS, the short interest, by the way. 15% short interest XOS. So be mindful of that. It's not only the range, but it's got the decent short interest there on it. Anything around 20 makes me nervous.
down.
What about you guys?
Short. I always like to. So I have up here the chart. I always like to chart it to figure out where they are. And they've actually been shorting this thing all the way up since like the big spike of the shorts happened in kind of the 7s and so they're not hugely underwater yet. They've actually been covering their shorts as it kind of pulled into the 3s. So yeah, that's one thing I always want to look at. I want to know not just that they're short. I want to know where they're short, and that gives me a little more confidence of do they care, right? Are they underwater or not? So.
All right, guys. Scalp's looking good here. I'm trying to see if it breaks 10 on UUUU. That's the scalp. I have about $90 right now. I can just take the money and run. But looking to see if we break 10. We're not breaking it. But we'll probably take the profits and run if it doesn't break 10 here.
Yeah, we had, and then look right here on the SPY, right to the 2-day VWAP. A little bit of a pullback. Again, we've moved pretty big from the right off the open, so wouldn't be surprised to chill. I will be surprised if all we got was a 0.3% down move from all-time highs. If that's all the bears could muster, we could be going much higher.
Well, I think it's just still the rate outlook that trumps everything, guys.
Snow is getting halted down, guys. Good work for those working that 650 resist. Snowa. Yeah, SNOA. Good work.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go, man. Remember I talked about how that one could pop towards where and turn around?
Yeah, dude. That was
beauty. Rewind it.
Beauty. Come
There's
on.
a reason why, though.
Somebody clip it.
It's the wave. That's the wave 4 that fails. So that's the wave that usually traps the guys that shorted in the pre-market. They get out and then they see the stock go down and they're just like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did
So
I do? All hope is lost moment.
yeah, I mean that's
Bullish.
a normal one. Pop at the open, then drop them, right?
I love that. I love trading that, like against the pre-market resistance, because you kind of know where people are stuck. I mean, it's like Michael's saying with with the shorting. It's psychology. Like where are the if you're on the side of the who said this? If you're on the side of the majority, be cautious, and that rings a bell. So true. So be mindful. Where are they? Where is the majority at?
That's
Because
why I
I don't want
spent
to be
so
there.
much time looking at that positioning data, right? And this is a little bit before your time, but the whole way kind of in this area, I'm screaming that we're going higher. And the only reason was because everyone was short. And I still
Mhm.
think we're going higher because everybody's short. And as soon as that flips and everyone's long, I'll be like, okay, we're probably nearing a short-term top, and we just haven't seen them cover their horrible losing positions. The IWM caught data will be interesting this week because those guys got blown out this week with the IWM up like 10% in a week. Qs haven't really done much, but the IWM has a little bit been on fire. So this bullish, again, I'm already close to some scalping some if we can get up into this kind of like 79 area. This is one of those like manual system overrides where I'm supposed to be taking it to the 2-day VWAP, but that's nuts from my entry price. Like that's like a 20% up move in a single day. Can it happen? Yeah. Is the likelihood high? No. So I just want to be cautiously taking bits here and there on some of these. But so far it's been great, right?
Yeah.
Bought everything off the open, no shorts yet. So but I don't control that. The bot does. So we'll see if it starts
I'm
showing
excited
later.
to learn a little bit more about this 2-day VWAP. I really haven't heard many people using that.
Yeah. So this is, and we had my buddy Kenny Glick on talks about it all the time. But essentially, right, VWAP just represents the average price of everybody who's traded today,
Yeah.
right? Price and volume. 2-day VWAP is just that and yesterday, right? So
Yeah.
especially for your particular, you do a
Yeah, the
lot of second
hangovers.
day
I
plays.
yeah.
I would add it and I would start watching that just to see
Mhm.
if you end up getting a lot of cases where it comes to it. Because if you look at like CSCO, uh, we hit that now 1, 2, 3 times and we just can't get through this 2-day VWAP. So this is the average price of all the people who bought
The
before
last 2 days.
earnings is right
I
there.
love it. Yeah. I think that's I think
And
there's some significance to that for sure.
and
Because
there's
yeah,
the
I love
SPY, right? Hit it down, right? So now we got to take another shot at it.
good morning, MG. How's your morning going?
Good. I'm doing the same trade on BLSH, Cliff says. Yeah, and it all depends. So we had a little bit of a reverse there when we hit that 2-day VWAP. See if we can get through it. If you look at what happened on the Qs, right, we hit it and did the same thing. So a lot of these indexes were kind of struggling around that 2-day VWAP, which again is just the average price of today and the average price of yesterday. And the thing I love about sentiment, or I love about VWAP, is it's kind of like a sentiment tool. If we get above that, that means everybody who bought yesterday and continued to buy the dip today, they're starting to make money. And if you're not making money, you obviously didn't buy the dip today. So those people are starting when they're starting to make money. That's a great sentiment indicator. Also, that's the VWAP from all-time highs is the same thing.
Yeah.
So everybody is making money. It's like I saw a quote, and this guy got a lot of hate on Twitter, but I thought it was right. It's like, hey, if your portfolio is not at all-time highs right now, maybe just invest in the SPY and pack up your spurs because everything is ripping. So in this scenario, if we can get through, which it looks like we're doing right now as we're talking through that 2-day VWAP, that's amazing, right? That just means that again, everybody is happy again, everyone's making money again, and then we just got to see if we can hold for any length of time.
Looks like there's some popularity in the chat over this 2-day VWAP too. They learned about it from you.
Yeah.
Guys, snow is about to open up. If it's a 5-minute halt, at least, so I'm probably gonna be taking most decent chunk of that off. Decent chunk of it off when we open up here.
The old Snowa. Let's go to your screen here. Trading view.
Yeah, so I'm working 4 right now. Snow, we're about to open up. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let me see what we're gonna do here. Take a little piece off.
Take the money.
Take the money and run. Hoo-hoo.
I always
Yeah,
have. You're a
take
braver
a
man
piece
than me.
off.
I always get really scared holding those
X
things through
pawn, X pawn
earnings
ripping,
or through halts.
Yeah,
X
so now
pawn
just
with
a
a rip and a
leftover
dip.
piece. I'll set a. I gotta always remember to cancel my buy orders because there've been times I take a piece off and I'm like, oh, what did I just buy at all time highs? Yeah, make sure you cancel this. So now we'll just set a trail on the rest for this ticker specifically. Probably like 50, 60 cents is decent. And let her rip tater chip. And then I got a couple
Yeah.
others working in the background. BSLK, this one, just working the backside play here. A lot of longs in it from yesterday. And then MNTS, slow fade on that one. Edit, I'm a little red on right now. I got to stop if she wants to climb back up to yesterday's highs. But yeah, just working a few right now. Looking for some more. I'll take a look at XPON, but that's why we got to have good stops, guys. I mean,
It looks like a nice short there on X pawn there. I'd like it to try to reject 420s. Your 20 spot hit good.
yeah, it just actually put in a big upper wick, kind of elevator-ish down. I mean, it's 470, shot down a point to 370, and now it's consolidating, going sideways right there
Yeah.
at 408. I mean, I like it too. It's just, is this going to be the? I don't really particularly like to be trading the overcrowded name on the day because it creates more unpredictability, at least for me.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just too much going on. There's too much manipulation. So sometimes I'll just avoid those entirely.
All right, just to have some fun. Let's have some fun here. I'll take the trade here. We'll do it off the 425. So really tight
Oh,
stop here,
I like
guys.
it.
You guys can see it, and I'll put it even out there on the screen. And just
Make
like
me
that,
jealous.
we are triggered out, baby. Boom, boom, in and out, baby, like a fast food restaurant. Show your hand, get hit, get hit.
BLSH here. Just I have a resting stop in BLSH. They never came anywhere near it. Just saying. And then up we go. So
It
I'm
didn't
out.
take more than a second for mine.
I'm out. I'd say 80% of the position here. Now that being said, I talked all this smack about it's very unlikely it's going to get to the 2-day view app and just watch it just rip right there. But I'm happy. I took a little bit of my profits. This thing's moving fantastically. So again, just a view app to a view app fade. Just the idea is there's a lot of studies that gaps, generally speaking, are a little bit too extended. So this is just my way of saying I'm not just going to try to chase highs. I'm going to wait for them to kind of go back through view app, and that's the strategy for you guys who are new and you're missing it. Again, they're all kind of like this, right? I bought a little bit of John Deere. This one's obviously going to be way more boring than something like a new IPO, but right, it's gap down after earnings. My bet's the gap might be a little bit overdone, so we wait for through view app. So that's what this indicator you're seeing on the screen is blue line's today's view app. I'm looking to get through that, and I'm looking to get to eventually the 2-day view app. But yeah, this one was a little bit too far, so took a little bit at like 78 and then 79 and then 81, and then I've got like a tiny, I think I've got like 20 shares or 10 or 20 shares left, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just own this thing forever. I have no idea what do these guys do anyway. Not a clue.
All right, guys, back in there at 423. He's going to risk off the 448 there on XPUN, and I'm watching QS rip here. Might sell into this rip here.
Of course, I go to look up what they
XPON.
do. Just digital asset platform. Sure, why
Money
not?
Mitch, I can't let you do this by yourself.
Let's just cash first, QS, and then we can have some real fun here. Let's go, QS. Get up there. Up 285 here, guys. I'm trying to just let it go through the 970s and cash it here. So what I'm going to do is no matter what, I'm going to take 250. But I'm looking for the break through the 970s here. It's just not doing it. It keeps rejecting into the 65s. And it runs into a high seller there in the 67s, 11,000 shares. So that's why I'm looking for one more little push. One more little push. Come on.
Why did I not take? Got anybody get XOS in here? I mean, literally, we called it out for pre-market, like
Let's
the
go.
triple, quadruple top, and she just elevated down into a halt. We're seeing a halt fest around with SNOA, now XOS. So those aren't really fun to get involved with either. Just
Oh,
going halt to
no.
halt to halt. But XOS, I'm a little aggravated.
There we go. Looking a little bit
missed that
better
one.
there in that X pun. I wanted to break 4 now fast here. So on through 4, we're going to go for an ad. I'll do a stop ad there at 4. if it goes through 4. So only going to add if I go through that $4 spot. So we'll see what happens there. QS, man, this is just chopping around. I might just have to take the 960s because it keeps holding the 9 EMA. But if it breaks that, it could easily go back to the VWAP. Man, this thing just doesn't want 970s. It got there literally by 1 penny. Maybe that's just me being a little picky, but really I'm looking for a move to 10. So that's why I don't mind the move to sell into the 970s. We'll see what happens there. Xpun now back in the green. Let's go, Xpun.
BLSK has been good, guys, off of 920, still working that short. BMRA, I don't have a position there, but she's getting some chat attention on it. It's trying that red to green move. Some pre-market resistance there. Yeah, right now I'm working MNTS still on a short. BSLK, just kind of sleepy play there. I'm cool. I'm just chilling with this one. See if we can get under $8. I'm seeing some 8 support there.
Ethereum starting to reject out there, at least Ether. So watch out for some pullbacks now. We'll see if Ether just drops like a tank.
BMRA, guys, just be mindful of that one. Yeah, we're getting a reject BMRA on the VWAP. It attempted the VWAP cross and it's fighting the open right now. It's like this decent risk right there. So I'm considering a trade. We just crossed VWAP and got rejected back down under the open. BMRA, I'm considering it.
Come on.
How's XCon doing?
Hanging out, which is actually a good thing.
The 2-day VWAP is just the beginning of the prior day. If you have pre-market on your charts, it'll be the beginning of the pre-market the prior day. If you don't have pre-market turned on, it will be the beginning. And again, you can see it. We got sucked right to that number, and then we haven't done anything since then. We've just been consolidating right at the 2-day VWAP, and the Qs, same thing, noisier and choppier, but we just ripped right up to the 2-day VWAP, and then we've done pretty much nothing since then. So, and again, this is because I have pre-market on. You can see it will start right here, right? So turns from this one, and then it turns into that one. So we could just chop here for a while, but it's kind of annoying. But we're starting to try now. Once we can get through it, again, if we completely erase CPI, or PPI, then maybe a little bit of move from there. But we got to remember, if you go to the daily chart, not really done much, right? There's nothing really going on over the last 3 days here.
Right? Yeah, we're just getting a climb back. Watch out for good old Trump coming in.
Yeah, it's someone take his phone away. At least till we're above 2-day VWAP.
Please. Somebody please take that away.
BMRA, I'm attempting a short here, guys, but it's small and tight.
Come on, QS.
This might be one of those I'm in and I'm out kind of things. BMRA here.
Good Lord. This QS is going to give me gray hairs. Just keeps getting up there and then just failing. It's 3 wicks now in that area, so at this point, it needs to hold 950 and go back through 975s at 10. If not, it's going to come back to 9. It's just how it works. If it ain't breaking resistance, get ready for a support test. And if you can't take that support test, you better know. Because if not, you get run over. We'll see if Xpun's still in there, but probably going to get hit there. UUU, cut out, break even. Yeah, break even on UUU. That was a little annoying. UUU just got up there closer towards 10, got up there, and then didn't have the stop place at 993, and then it got to like 990s, and I just had to hold break even because of the 10-cent rule. There is XPON, another stop out there, $25, down about 97 today in the day trade account, but down on that XPON, another one out there at 448s. So just not working on the shorts there. Looks like they might want to take it to 5. We'll see if it gets going.
BMRA is about to do something here, guys. I know that's brilliant. It's either going to go up or down. But there's a high volatility right at this point. A lot of volume coming into it. So it's either going to get this red to green break and VWAP breaker. It's going to start coming crashing on back down.
DraftKings starting to hold 43s. Can it actually do it, man? I got out of this swing. I don't mind getting back in, but it just doesn't want to really take off here lately. Overall market, looking around at my watch list to see what's actually trading in the green here. Ulster up 11%. I should have just stuck with that bad boy. Oh my God, that thing is hot. Tempest is hot. Bloom Energy is hot. SBET not looking too bad, but not really a big move there. AUR followed through a little bit there. RCAT bouncing a little bit today. Ethereum already pulling back, man. Ethereum couldn't even get back to pre-market action. That just shows me more and more. I think the bulls are caught here, and they're definitely getting pressured.
Yeah, SPY sitting. Just look at the chart, right? Cannot get over, cannot get under this VWAP.
A little bit of decoupling there from the overall market in crypto, at least Ethereum, from what I'm seeing. So uncorrelated action. SPY going up, Ethereum going down. Is that what we're seeing on the chart also?
I'd say they're both a little bit of a drift down here in Ethereum as opposed to kind of the sideways action in the SPY.
SPY looks 10 times better than that ETHU chart at least. You
Yeah,
can look at ETH, right?
Again, we're above yesterday's low still. We
That's
are
good action.
down on the day just because, again, days are weird in crypto space. You just have to pick like an arbitrary point because there's no closing. So they use like UCT time or some crazy stuff like that.
It's almost like the big traders are like, well, F you in the open markets. I'm going to wait for
Oh,
the close markets.
BMRA. Merry Christmas, guys. Let's go.
Get that Christmas. Get that Christmas. What's happening there?
Well, I took it off right before
That's
that
okay.
haul, fortunately. But yeah, I mean,
You're
good work
fine.
there.
Money's money. Don't get mad.
Got the that's right. Yeah, got the short 440, and then we just elevator down. The old elevator. She's a creaky old thing.
The old elevator.
Hasn't been inspected in a while. So got rejected on that cross, and then halted down. So good work, guys, on that. Is Josh in here? I thought I heard him for a second.
I was about to say you. I was going to ask if you could come in, Josh. Give a thumbs up.
Yeah, well, I have it full screen, so I didn't hear the sound when you came in.
Here we go.
Oh, gotcha.
What's going on, buddy?
No, man.
What's up, man?
How's the morning going?
Small caps. Fun morning for small caps for sure.
All right, well, let's take a look from Josh here. So, Josh, feel free to share your screen here, and then I'll throw your screen up, and then you can just give us a little bit of a summary of what you've seen in the market so far.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do entire screen for sure. Let's do, I don't know which one is this. I think it's going to be this bad boy, screen number 2 right here. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So,
All right, let's see how this looks. Boom, switching over to Josh.
Yeah. All right. So earlier we talked about this a lot. Usually more so people hear about supply and demand. It'd be more so large cap base. You get a lot more of that large cap base. Why? Small caps are very volatile. They'll move in and out of spaces a lot more frequently. So you don't develop a lot of supply and demand. But let's just say, for instance, today here, we can see this early on for what I called back and when I look at past chart history. So I'm going to break down XPON just for the time being right now. So we'll go back to XPON. Of course, I looked at a million tickers today that XPON is out of my recent history. So what I always like to do is I will come into pre-market, and usually I come in typically my time around 6:45 to 7. 6:45 to 7 is when I'm coming in. I don't trade that early on. I don't like to get up super early and do all this mess. And my eyes, by the time the opening bell comes, my eyes are they're fried. They're absolutely fried. And so I like coming in between 6:45 to 7. That's generally where I'll be getting a lot of my trades. Well, the first thing I noticed is what we talk about, old resistance here in this area above the VWAP, which to me is always going to be looking for a squeeze to push to where? Back to previous high of day area. Now, a lot of people may ask, what are these bands or what are these lines? This is an upper and it's a lower VWAP band. They act like we've talked about this the first time around that I was on with you guys. They're similar to Bollinger Bands, not exactly, but they're similar. So just to give you a quick definition of what they act like.
Josh, I heard bands to make them dance.
That's right. We talked about that last time for sure. And they do. And what I talk about with the bands, when the bands expand. So when you see the bands expanding, you know there's more room to run. And that's what I like to see for longs, right? Bands that make her dance for sure, right? So when we find these old resistance areas with multiple touches, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. I like being in a 1 minute time frame. It shows me more touches, but I don't care if you're in a 3 minute time frame or if you're in a 5 minute time frame. Either one of those are still going to show the 1, 2, and 3 touch fail at this 320 area. So what's that letting me know? That if we break out a good amount, and in my opinion, it's up to high of day or above, then I know I can come back down, back below 350 if we spike above it for a bounce play. And sure enough, we get a beautiful bounce at 320. So there's where that bounce came in. This is what I saw earlier and alerted ahead of time. Also alerted ahead of time was this 430 fail area. And all I do is also, when I wake up at this point, 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I have charting back to right here, yes, but what's above 350? And we even fell at it right after I kind of see it happening, right? I'm like, okay, well, what's above that? The first thing you guys need to do, or what I teach, is go to the 1 year, 1 day, and you start finding areas of resistance. Again, most likely a supply zone of where traders are going to be coming in, and not only you're going to see it on the tape and they're going to be selling if they're going long, but then that's where shorters like myself like to come in for a short up top. And so I find one defined area. Okay, that's sexy. It's cool. I like it. I see it. There's one good rejection. And not only is there a massive upper shadow, cool, I see that, but that's what you want to see. Not just, oh, there's a cool, cute little upper shadow. I want a massive dump. I just heard, Kevin talk about it, elevator down, right? That's what I have heard that term. You want to say bye-bye, right? So when you see not only an upper shadow, but a massive reversal that day, that's letting you know that area is going to be strong. Then I just keep coming over and I see fail. So I know somewhere in this 430 area is going to be a major supply zone where if I come into the most likely today and I look to take trades, that area is going to be some major resistance, right? And sure enough, for the first, we only hit it once, I know, and then we're failing through there, yes, and I know we got above it. But this is where you find your levels, and for me, day in, day out. And then you can trade these levels. So now if you're looking for a bounce play on the way back down, you just sit here and relax and go, cool, I will wait for 430 and put some orders for between 430. Maybe I'll put some orders up here at 450. And you just put limit orders waiting to get filled for a bounce play. Now back down to the new, which will be created demand zone. That's what I'm looking for every single day. Now, real quickly, I want to go through. Sorry, this is all I've looked at today. I'll go through it as fast as I can here and not take up too much space of everybody. I called this short out. I called it, and I want to pull up my Discord, but I called that 430 out like an hour and a half before the opening bell. Same thing for TRIB. When you come up and you find past chart history, do the same thing. 1 year, 1 day, find the 250 area. So if you want to short up top or let chart build, and I love shorts that do this right here, that go, or longs, of course, but then it becomes a good short. When you squeeze up and you have a lot of this open area, I call this open spacing, profitability zone. So when I find this uptrend channel, the base of it starts here, right? So that's the base of my new trend I'm developing, which ends up not being very long at all. I know that if I crack that, and we all know the VWAP, as I even heard Michael talk about it earlier, what the VWAP is. He explains the middle portion essentially, or the middle ground. It's the median. Well, that also means if I crack the median, what's below it? That's bearish territory. Not only is it bearish territory, but then I'm running into open charting. So if I run into open space and open charting, voila, then you get to move down to where the last, to me, trend was developed, which was the squeeze pattern and the breakout from it. So you should get down close to 150. And if you kind of zoom out, you pretty much got to 150. So that's some of the stuff that I'm looking at today. We did trade SNON. That was another one. Or, of course, BMRA. Great call there again. Kevin, just a second ago. It's another one. I love
You're chopping up a little bit, Josh. Is it my end or is everyone
Sounds
getting
good to
a
me.
little-
You're good. Yeah. It could be because I talk a million miles an hour, too.
The mic can't keep up.
Yeah. But this was another one earlier. Trend cracks. Find your bounces. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4 bounce. We talked about this yesterday. Things run in threes when it comes to small caps. So when you get 3 bounces on a trend line, you better be careful. That trend's probably going to change soon. And boy, did it ever change. And we've been pretty much down ever since until this last reversal. So that's what I'm looking at day in, day out right there. There you go. A little recap.
With that X pun, don't forget that SNOA is trading almost literally the same price. Remember what I talked about earlier today about sympathy and that price range. So watch out for maybe SNOA to all of a sudden catch fire here off of the...
Oh, sorry. I stopped my screen share. I thought I was going to go back to your screen.
Just quickly,
you're
take a
good.
short in. I know you've been talking about this one. Oast.
let's go to you. Yeah, the Ouster.
Oast. Yeah.
Oast. So bot just took a little bit of a short just 2 seconds ago there at like 35.40. So this is just straight mean reversion, right? Just this thing is ripped for so long, right? It's
Yeah,
just
it's been an
one of the.
absolute rocket.
And I just wanted to point that one out because that's been the first short today, right? I talked about a lot of longs. Right? We bought this TPR, this tapestry, whatever this is, right? Bullish, continuing to move higher. Our John Deere's doing okay, so mostly long. So I just wanted to highlight that one. It's the first short we took, just inside this area. Just again, no levels or anything. This is just the mean reversion algorithm right here. And then just quick update on the markets. We're through. We made it through that 2-day VWAP. We continue to grind higher. We're seeing crypto start to lift with the market, right? Ethereum's back to highs a day. So good move there on that. We have Bitcoin underperforming, but still pushing up here as well, right? Q's now right back to highs. It did actually briefly break the PPI number high, so we're back above there as well. And our boy IWM, the small cap, just not doing it. So big cap tech day. Find your Teslas, find your Amazons, find your whatever's moving higher, and gravitate to those things because those are the ones that are the market's really liking right now.
Yeah, that's why we talked about it earlier in the week. Flight to quality, I think, is happening. I know that the small caps will also get some play, but I think the flight to quality makes sense. Not the. We're in the late innings of the Palantir runs, guys. I think at some point I might open a long-term Palantir short. Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy.
Guys, XOS might be providing a sloppy seconds move. A lot of like random reclaims.
Long D wave, guys. So Quantum looking good today. So I'm taking a shot off of that. Rigetti, the leader. Looking for some lag play in QBTS and others.
Yeah, XOS, kind of a straight up move back up towards resistance. I'm considering a short on that.
A little bit of a
outside
pull
of that,
here, just on the market, just FYI, a little bit, just a couple minute dump there. So just be careful. See if Trump's tweeting.
DKNG starting to get above 43s and holding well. Of course, this is a
Oh,
seasonality trade. Doesn't look bad, but I had to get out of it earlier. It still looks good. I just got out of it and I've loaded into QS, so there's no point in me jumping into another swing right now. But it still looks good in the long run. Look at the daily chart and how it really has this bottoming right here. So you know where you need to go, right? And that's a lot of the times what needs to happen. You know you need to go, right? And this leaves really good risk to return. To the top end, to the resistance, 8%. Risk down, 2%. You know what I mean? It's as simple as day. We'll see what happens there in DraftKings.
attempting trib against 220
Coming to you,
on
man.
the short side. Yeah, I'm a stab at her. We're seeing a couple random sloppy seconds plays. Right, working a couple right now. BSLK, I'm trying to kick back on, and then trib right now. I call this the sloppy seconds when it attempts at least to get back up towards resistance territory. I like to stab at them on the short side because I know we've gone over this morning, but we have longs that are in this thing buying the euphoria up at 230. Now, can it reclaim? I mean, certainly we've seen that, but so I'm gonna go ahead and set the stop. So it's kind of on autopilot as I'm working a few of these plays, but stop's gonna be at 220 for a couple hundred shares there.
Sweet. Yeah, I was looking at the same exact play. So same thing happened earlier, like what he's saying, the sloppy seconds happened on BMRA. Right before that, it happened on SNOA right after the opening bell. So you're seeing this. And again, like I always say, find the trends within the trade. So when these trends are happening, notice it, and then you're going to catch it from a different ticker. You may miss it from A, but you can get it on B. You may miss B, but you'll find C. It's patience. Like I was saying earlier in the little chat that we have on WhatsApp.
Yep.
Spell it with the Y. It pays off to have patience. You don't have to catch every single play. You're not going to catch every single play. That's what makes you a better trader, in the understanding that and waiting for your setups. And if you miss one, there will be a second, there will be a third.
I'm watching XOS here to see if we start to get a lift off there. It still has an ability to play here.
Yeah, that was a sloppy seconds too.
Yeah, it just seems to me like it's had a couple of runs up there towards
Trib took
580
me out.
that has been sold into. Trib with a nice little rip there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe a
X-Pawn-
decent entry. Yeah.
X-Pawn a great short too. If I can share my screen again, that'd be awesome. I'll share my screen real quickly.
I got you, my friend. Just get it up, and then I'll put you up.
You're good. Boom. It's up, rock and rolling. So I'm going to go over XPON. This is going
Awesome.
back to just past chart history again. So I called this out in my my lobby a few minutes ago. I missed the short because I'm looking at a million different plays today, and this is what I'm talking about. So of course, where am I getting this 540 area? This upper shadow and this resistance failure right through here. So you see this upper shadow right around the 545, 550. Literally the high of that day is 548. High of that day is 548. Open of this day is 549. High of that day is 558. What is the high of day today? Let's go and check it out. It is 50 on the dot. That's it. Do some due diligence. Go back to past chart history. Find where it's going to fail and resist at. And you're going to most likely get a good short. Now, I want to show this real quickly before we move on and about putting your lines in. I talk about this day in, day out. And we've been hearing a ton more of this from me as I'm going live with you guys on TTP. So yesterday we find these beautiful essentially consolidation area before we squeeze and go for more. So we can see this resistance area, support area. And look how we come into today. And I just keep fast forwarding my lines and look how those lines are working out perfectly yet again today. Right. And we didn't quite get down to the bottom line, but you can see this line right here working perfectly out as support resistance. That's why I would say my saying forever is put your lines in and trade them. That's how to trade stocks. If you find your setup, like I've talked about, you can just put your lines in and then trade them over and over and over.
I'm gonna try XPON against the highs.
I have some XOS at 487s here, guys. Looking to see if we can pop to 5 again and then really take 550 in a hurry.
Whoa, I just noticed TRB is halted up right there.
Yeah, it's on the halt.
That's why we have stopped, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, is it halted? I just saw
Yep.
a spread change.
25, 38, 25. I'm guessing that. I usually Thinkorswim's pretty good. Doesn't actually have the halt. Usually it's the last order that came through there, but I'm guessing something right around there.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. 2 minutes in the halt. Here comes XOS. Let's see if it wants to rake the rip there towards
you
the
want to take
5.
back over.
There's 5 there, guys. Boom, boom. Let's go for it here. Adding into it a little bit. Oh, I didn't have my share size set up there correctly. So that's not going to help. I added a measly 1 cent, 1 share.
That's happened before too.
Big spender.
Big spending here. Let's see if XOS can get going. Maybe I can at least get the small cap today. QS is just giving me like gray hairs, guys. Should have taken it off there at the 69. It's already back down to 940s. The chop continues in QS, man. It's a little bit frustrating because I'm so close to the E valve, right? That sometimes you just want to take that extra little $20 there. And I wanted 70, and it went to 69, and I got a little picky there, and now it's already back down to 940s. I'm still in the green, but not the way to should just taken the 1 penny off, right? Because you notice it because if you'd go back there, you would sell there, right? That's going to be your telling sign, right? If you'd go back there, would you sell? And inside you'll feel, yeah, I'll sell.
We got Q's new high day. We got Bitcoin new high day. We got Ethereum new high of day. We have the SPY trying to get there, not quite.
It's crazy because now you're starting to get back on the Ethereum. So that's a trade. It hasn't even gotten back to pre-market levels on ETHU, at least. That just goes to show you want to be looking at both sides, right? The coin.
Well, yeah, I just mean new. If you do the RTH, right, new regular trading high of day.
Hey, even on ETH itself, it just shows you that it's a little bit off there. From the way that it.
Yeah, it's just like when is a day, right? So for this, I'm talking actual. So for trading, you talk at midnight, right?
Yeah.
So we're higher than we were at midnight. This is just the difference between 24-hour market and a 6.5 hour market.
Let's go XOS. Let's get going. Auto parts. So this is what I was seeing. Like drives on the 15 minutes, right? So up 1 into this drive, it pulls back. Second drive, third drive, shouldn't break that $4. Looking for it to get back in the 550s. And that's where we actually want to see volume come in, where you've seen a lot of the rejection right in this space, right? So we'll see if it gets up there and really starts to take off.
And that's what you're seeing. It just seems like a lot of what we're noticing across the market is this reversal kind of up down, like we talked about like I was saying a couple of weeks ago. It's just you're finding those areas up top and getting the reversals back on down, or same thing for bounce plays down below.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Well, and that quite often it makes sense too if you think about it. When the market's at all-time highs, there's a lot more price discovery to do. There's not like a level that the market can get to when it's at all-time highs and say this is right prior resistance or whatever. So you get a lot more. I always was explained to me is that when a market's at all-time highs, it's like you're trying to find a way around a room when it's dark, right? You're just a lot of like moving back and forth and trying to figure out what's going on because you can't just say, hey, this is the area that's support and this is the area that's resistance and let's bot between those. We're at all-time highs. It's never been here before, so we need to figure out where those areas exist and what's happening. And again, not a fundamental guy. We have Ethereum and continuing to climb here, just FYI. SPY
you
almost up
trying to
to
make a
new
move.
highs.
You.
Do we take the swing on this setup, man? This thing's been a tough setup to finally see it get through 10. Would love to see it close up there, right? You can see all the wicks on this chart, but it's holding the breakout on this chart really, really well. This is your momentum style trade. I think you got to give it range towards like 9.20s or $9 on the risk. But if it gets to 11 and 12, I don't think you'll be too mad.
New highs for the Q, new highs for the SPY, new high for Ethereum, everything except IWM. And why didn't we all just buy sheep with hat this morning? Because we've got a 50% pop here on
With hat.
with
We
this
should have done
damn
the Amazon gap fill. That was on the playbook, like I've talked about. If I just paid attention to my playbook this morning, might be in the crash there.
Tribs in play, guys.
I talked about Amazon gap fill to 231, 231.40s. We've gone towards 230.50. We'll see if Amazon fills that gap.
Tribs in play, except trying to bounce off this 220. I'm monitoring against the highs. Past chart history suggests we got a lot of like 3-ish resistance, but XPON's been going sideways. I feel like I'm gonna get stopped out there. I still got it against like 535-ish 40, but she's starting to kind of go sideways a bit. Could see another leg up. Then Trib I'm monitoring.
small
watch
caps
for-
interesting, right? Just
Go ahead. What was that, Mike?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 VWAP tests, and we're back here. Right, this has been the dog of the day. Everything else has been ripping except small caps. So if we can clear VWAP here on small caps, and that continues, that could be the fuel to get us back to a potential highs on the SPY. Because you got to think about it, right? We're only now like 0.1 from all-time highs, 0.25 total from all-time highs. So we could be there. So let's just keep an eye on the small cap, see if we get that. Trying to get through VWAP, but you can see how it's been resistance all day.
Yep. And that's what I say. Watch if that does happen. Watch for then be SNOA too as well. It's taking the next leg down instead of up. XPON does reek of that XPON next leg up. SNOA, watch for another leg down. It's definitely kind of making that lower high pattern, lower low pattern. Definitely could see this back into the 4s, and I'm heavy watching that for one more crackdown to 5 and below 5. Really one of those plays which we haven't seen a lot of these, or we had a market condition from like 22 into 24 where so many small cap plays were just up and then they would just die off and they would just keep dumping. And we haven't seen a lot of that continuation, as it would be called, right? And you get a lot of these red to green moves or U shapes, and this could still U shape and come back on up SNOA. But yeah, I'd be watching that IWM as well, and then maybe watch for either the leg up or maybe then the reversal and then leg back down.
They're winning on those miners short, that's for sure. That keeps going down. Clean Spark getting
Wolf
hit hard.
is the Wolf the one in play? Oh no,
Yeah,
not winning on that
31%.
Wolf short.
Yeah.
Mara
Wolf is ripping, man.
and W. That's got a weird like double combo, right? Because their whole thing is crypto mining but nuclear. So like sometimes it goes with crypto, sometimes it goes with NLR, but
Can we say the real deal? That is PS.
yeah, they're supposed to be like the green, healthy, whatever.
And do they also
miner.
do gene therapy and
Sure, yeah. They're also a treasury of sheep with hat. They're going to
There
be a
you
sheep
go,
with
there
hat
you go.
treasury coin.
And those big float plays some of the time too are that way. You get 150, 200 million in float. Those are some big dudes, and it's you may not get that reversal for the short back down a lot of the time.
Well, and this was part of what's helping this particular miner too is just the move we're seeing. So right, Ethereum is getting very close. It's obviously still down from its all-time high that it made overnight, like 1.5%. But since its lows that it put in after that PPI print, it's already rallied 6%. So we're getting a continued move in the crypto space. So we need to keep an eye. And Bitcoin's actually been lagging a bit. So if Bitcoin kicks up, because obviously Ethereum, there's no mining, it's all staking. So Bitcoin is really what you got to watch when you're watching the miners.
Watch for the. I know Kevin talked about it a little bit. This right here, this is on high. Watch for that next one more leg up, in my opinion. Of course, if you want to come in here and put your uptrend channel in, I'm big and I teach. It's called candlestick confirmation. So you're waiting for candles to close and open. I'm not really a big wick trader. Don't really care about wicks. So I put my trends in nice and tight with the bodies of the candle. That would be my uptrend. If this holds, watch that next leg and squeeze up. Don't have a lot of resistance above 550. Could shoot to 6+. But if it does crack this uptrend channel, of course, the base of this trend, which I just talked about earlier on Trib earlier this morning on that short earlier, right? We find the base of the trend usually typically is what I'm looking for, which earlier on Trib right here, if I can go to it, was here. We cracked that and the VWAP, watch the move down. So there's the base of that trend. Now we have a trend line there, not the VWAP. It's a trend line this time. And Kevin right now is loving life.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it against that upper shadow.
Yeah.
Small stock I haven't heard mentioned, and maybe you guys are missing the RSLS. Did you guys trade that one? Reshape Life Sciences.
Oh yeah, definitely have seen this play before. RSLS. This is one throughout the years we've definitely looked at, and I'm not even. Yeah, wow. Yeah, see, haven't even seen this play today yet.
You see? Yeah, sometimes they go under the radar. This one has a high short interest. I have a high short interest watch list. It's at the top of the list today, up 35%, and it's had a really nice pattern on the 15-minute back down below 3. Has really pushed on the 4s and hasn't really broke down 4 on the pullback. We'll see what happens if it undercuts 4 and gets going.
And Trib right here, if I am going to short the top, this is what I look for on TRIB. I want that 52-week high. I want the big reversal. I want, like I said, not only a reversal, but it came flying back all the way down to 1 after that reversal. So if I'm going to short the top the rest of the day on TRIB, it's right there at that 340 mark for those that are interested in my thought process and what I'd be looking for. Find something that's big and nasty and go shoot for that. Also, there's that little open spacing I was talking about with SNOA. There's a lot of space down below there. So if we do get that reversal, there is room to run.
My oust is pulling back a little bit, so that's working out well. Just looking across the space, and everything is just kind of slowly recovering, slowly grinding back higher. WGMI, or the Bitcoin miners, we talked about that earlier in the short float. I love, from a swing trading side of things, I'm loving this chart. Where am I? Here I am. WGMI. Look at that from a daily chart. Consolidating here nicely. Get a nice little pop. We're up 3.55 today on WGMI. And again, for those who missed it, this is the chart that I was talking about that I love. Is that this thing's looking great. And look at the short interest on that. They've been shorting into these miners as they've been ripping. They've been adding more and more shorts. I'll take that all day long. So nice looking little breakout here on the daily chart for WGMI. Of course, Bitcoin's going to be all that matters, right? We don't like this candle, but if we dig in there and start to push higher, we're getting a nice little break on the Bitcoin miners, and we're doing that when they're really, really short. So I like that.
Guys, XPON, if working there on the short side, we just kind of snapped 520 down to 450. So good work there. Took the stop on TRIB. I may look to size XPON now that we're under $5. We could see this one start heading back down towards 4.
SNOA is going to be a real interesting one when it actually breaks the trend line and closes. That thing's going to move at some point. I think that's going to be maybe a later in the day rip, but we'll see what happens. It's just me betting on it, but it's crazy looking right now. And the daily pattern, it seems like it's trying to reload at the daily pattern. So maybe it pulls back all the way down there, and that's like below 5 if you're looking at daily patterns. But in the intraday, it's definitely held like sideways crazy off of this 15-minute chart. So we'll see what happens on that one. SNOA, just going sideways right there, right? Yep. It's just sitting. And when these go to sleep, That's usually when they rip them, guys. It's because traders stop watching them. They hang out here for what, an hour of the day, and then it comes what, 2 hours of the day, and then they're like, "The stock isn't moving. Why am I watching this?" So they stop watching it, and then they look back, and they all of a sudden they see it up at 8 and 9, and they're trying to buy that breakout. So got to be patient with these names. We'll see what happens there in SNOA.
Yeah, definitely agree. There's gonna be a move made. That's what I'm always looking at. I'm actually looking at 8 tickers. I have 2 different thinkorswims pulled up, so I have 8 tickers I'm looking at. But yeah, that's one of those things where I tell people, it's like, you watch it. I always say, I used to call it sneeze or squeeze. Of course, everyone knows a squeeze, but I'm like, hey, watch for a sneeze because it could go down. But that is definitely sneeze squeeze pattern right there, where it's going to be sneaky, like a sneeze is my point, right? Where it's out of nowhere and it's either going to add and fly up and it's going to just squeeze hard, or you're going to all of a sudden snot's coming out of your nose and it's going to drop down super hard. It's going to be, like I said, in the fours most likely.
All right, some names starting to hold there. I got in and out of QBTS. At some point, I think that could rip back towards 875, just to give a name out there. But man, it just seems like it's been a slowdown here, and I think they're just waiting for us to get out. So we'll see what happens after lunchtime. See if we get a ramp up in action. But it really hasn't been too much intraday. So it's just been a lot of overnight moves.
Well, all right, I can bring up the study again. I know we talked about it. That it's like 80% of all trading action. I actually did a video on my channel this week about it. I mean, most of the trading action, most of the gains in the market happens overnight. That's why I'm a trend trader when it comes to swings, and why I'm a revision to the mean dude when it comes to day trading, because it's
do you
very
guys,
rare that we trend in intraday.
This one might be up the boys' alley. What about D-Low here? What do you guys like or don't like about D-Low?
D-Low.
D-L-O.
Let's take a look.
Super tight. Super tight.
Super
Higher
tight.
low pattern, right? Got that nice kind of a downtrend break right here. So a little bit of a downtrend in my opinion, right? And then it broke out of it with this small little bull flag right here. So we get out of this 1550 area, but then still we got to worry about 1565. Here's where my upper VWAP bands start to come into play, because a lot of the time, kind of like your RSLS play that we just moved away from, when you have the upper VWAP band just run completely flat for, I would say, the first hour plus of the day, very rarely are you going to get that spike above it. And so I would venture to imagine that we stay stuck in D-low and this essentially higher low pattern until we get a reversal, and then we just kind of channel out and sit around for the rest of that. That'd be that's my take on it. We have 4 people. What's everyone else's take?
I'll go to Kevin there. The daily is interesting too, because I mean the daily chart on this thing really got going yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a big move.
Yep.
So,
and you're and you kind of go back to past short history real quickly, and then see this day was red, so you can't go well. And I'm back to trends, right? So the trend this day was gap up but red. We're gap up but we're green. So exactly, this is definitely interesting in a 52-week high. Well, I say 52. Are we at 52? Yeah, we're at 52-week high. So very interesting. You're all over it. Very interesting daily right there. Kevin, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. The daily suggests resistance around where it's at. I agree with the channel. We did see some lower shadows pre-market down there to the magic 20s, 1320s we bounced off of. And right now it's just, that sideways consolidation between 14 and about 1450 to 1470. So it's kind of, you can play those channels profitably. I mean, you can short, and then cover on the dip. And it's very tight, gapping up, quite a bit here up towards some resistance. There's definitely some room here to make some money.
All right, Mitch, you brought it up now. Come on now. You can't be talking. It's like, you talk about the
X-Pon's good, guys. X-Pon down.
Yeah, I was getting a pop there in XOS also. But yeah, we can go to those charts there. To me on D-Low is just more like, it's just an interesting one to keep an eye out for. I don't even think I'll trade it. It just seems really nice there on the kind of 15 minutes if you just hold off the 14, right? So a little bit of a tight flag that when they're tight, you at least know the risk. That's the one. That's the one good thing, at least when they're high flyers and don't give you that sideways action. You really don't know the risk. You're just taking an area. So in this case, If it just holds 14 today and breaks to 15, it won't look bad. You could also do an inside day and just kind of hang out here. I think that's probably what you're trying to do. You're not trying to break the 1490 to the left. You're just trying to hang out here, close the day just not below 14, and you'll be looking really good for a day 3 style move in D-Low. But here it is on the XOS, starting to get the lift here. Willing to add through the 525s of about near $100 now. But let's see what happens if this could actually make the move. It keeps failing into that, so let's see if it really takes off.
Took my
Go ahead.
sorry, I just took my BLSH off. Right, it just was chopping here forever, so I raised my stop up. It hit, and now it's just selling right back to VWAP. So this is why, again, you don't. If the VWAPs are too far away, I try to take some. So a great trade, right? From so where's my initial entry? Back here at like 76, took some 79, 80, 82, and then chunked out the rest there like 82.50.
Man, if
Expo took half off, guys.
Good job, boss. Yeah, that was money right there.
Get that money, Kevin. Get that money.
Trib hitting 320, by the way. God, I may restab at that one. I mean, I've been back and forth today. These days, though, it's just you gotta be tight on those stops like some of these days, and let the winners run. I've oftentimes had like my biggest struggle back in the day was I would see money and take it like right off the table. And so what I started doing, if some of you guys out there struggle with that as well, I'd start locking in like just a piece. So that way it's like I know I'm green, adjust the stop to break even. So at least I'm green on this trade regardless, and it would help alleviate that fear of those fears of being wrong, of losing money, those kind of fears. Yeah,
and one of the things I would say in penny stocks, it's one of the hard things. I talk about it all the time. A lot of traders learn how to manage risk. Very few traders learn to actually know how to hit the gas pedal. Reason why? They're very rare at times that they're probably on the gas pedal. So you really, after you get through what I call the survivor stage or the loser stage, right? And you're actually in the green, you want to be being able to press the gas pedal. What you got, Josh?
Oh, nothing. Sorry. I'm just pulling stuff around. No, you're good. I've got all my.
No, you're good.
SPY,
You're good.
FYI, SPY and Q's now positive on the day. So not only up from the CPI print, up from just the day in general.
Yeah.
Your small caps, right? Your RSP, everything down. So this is definitely getting pulled by big cap tech. But yeah, you're up. Everyone's up. Everyone's happy. Everyone's making money. New all-time highs in sight again. Ethereum almost back to all-time highs as well. Bitcoin, okay, just a little lag there in Bitcoin. We're getting a big bounce here in Ethereum. It's getting close to all-time highs, but Bitcoin is not. So I don't know if this is just like risk on in crypto world, but that's what we're seeing. And yeah, SPY, we are close. We are now down 0.09% from another all-time high print on the SPY, and roughly about the same on the Qs. So good day to be a bull.
If you're looking for large cap plays, the other two, I always look at the normal tech companies, your sexy seven or whatever they're called, magnificent. I don't know what those guys are called. Anyway, whatever. Meta and NVDA are looking really good today. Yesterday we were looking at AMD, that had a really good day yesterday. Today it's Meta and NVDA. I got a couple of guys in my lobby trading, banking off of that. Both of those plays are better, expanded, good movement, upper and lower VWAP bands expanding. Very good movement from NVDA and Meta today as well. I would imagine Meta gets its way up probably to 790. So watch for continuation for both of those plays.
Yeah, good charts on those for sure.
Yeah, Meta wants 800 at some point. I feel like we'll get there.
Then we'll have one of those days where it goes from like 800 to 845, and we're like, oh, wow, that was a huge day.
Yeah, I mean, the Meta chart looks great. Microsoft's still looking good. It's the big boys, guys. That's where I think the institutions are now. I think they're starting to transition away from the momentum players, or what I call the dash for trash. And that's something that we're seeing, right? We're seeing a lot of this dash for trash. Yeah. That tells me more and more that we're in the late innings of this rally. So what you're going to see is I would say a flight to quality. So what did we see yesterday? We saw a lot of value names rotating. So today they're back in tech. So what are they doing? To me, it's a flight to quality. It's value and growth tech, but mega tech, like not your smaller names. So they're going to go and hide in the big boys till the end of the year, right? Take their profits in those high flyer type of names. And I think that's what we're starting to see more of.
I'm thinking Trib's not bad, guys, against 320. I'm just trying to get an entry on this. Josh, what are your thoughts? You've been calling this one pretty well.
Yeah, I like it, honestly, for that move back under this 370 mark. Once we crack back under 370, should see a move down. The only thing you got to worry about, I call it wick to wick. I talked about this last week at my AKNR in Dallas. When you have, I'm in a 3-minute time frame because it's been running long enough, but you'll probably see it, honestly, in a 1-minute time frame when it's old resistance equals new support. I'll make it the big chart right here on TRIB. So you can see out here. So when you have a wick to wick, when they get really close, and especially when they touch, these are within about 7 cents of one another. I don't know why. Again, trend, we talked about, we're trend traders, especially myself. I've noticed through the years when you see wick to wick, that's going to be some very, very strong support in this area. And then you just go to the 1-minute time frame to break it down, get a little more material, get a little more criteria. And you can see we try to bounce off of this area earlier. So that's going to be your key, in my opinion. What I've also noticed from just trading throughout the years, again, finding that base of the trend. So overall, the base of this new trend, in my opinion, is right here. This is just a quick, I call them anomalies, or a quick little sell off, panic sell. Everyone who makes this quick, they made this breakout play, especially when I first started trading. I'm like, oh, take profit. Yeah, I'm out. Woo, 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 woo. And you're out, you're done, you're happy. Well, that's that sell off right there. So it's a lot of panic selling that led to a good bounce play for sure. But to me, the base is right there at that 270 mark. You crack that. The only thing I'm worried about is this little, and here it comes. Here we go. Now let's see if we test it. Oh, and we don't. Oh, baby. Were you in that at all, brother? Kevin?
Well, I was about to be. Yeah.
And this is what happens. This is what the small cap space is, though. SNOA. We talked about it. These out of nowhere moves, right? So if you're not already in the play, that's the market, though, we're in right now. You trust your area, and like you're kind of talking about a minute ago, Kevin, and especially a play like Trib. And I know it was Mitch that was talking about these little fast runner plays. And that's what I was like, what you were talking about. Essentially, you got to trust an area. You're stabbing that area, and you've got to trust it solely upon the charting, and it's got to be there. And if you've got to get in the trade there, because like Kevin was trying to do, he's trying to analyze this TRIB trade and where to get in at, right? Do I get in now, right before it falls? Well, I know I see my support zone right through here in the consolidation. Well, then you get so far in, and now there goes your short, right? There goes the short. So you really need to be in the play already. And that's where I've had less trades. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You'll hear me probably talk about this through August, and that happens this time of the year. Always seems to be every August. Us guys, we love some football. So who we got? College football, NFL, high school, right? So football's back and going. Brains are busy elsewhere. You got last-minute vacations. You got kids going back to school. It's not that great usually in August for small caps, and it can be this way where it's hit or miss. Now, today to me was a good day, but then you get these volume bursts out of nowhere, and you get aggravated traders like Kevin going, and you throw your hat.
Kind of how I am right now with DraftKings, looking back at it as you talk about football, and I'm just like, thank you, Josh. Just keep.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Josh. Look at this reaction since I got stopped out break even, guys.
Good job, Smud.
That's what happens.
TTP is amazing. Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens, man. I put the stop out there, got hammered on that one, and DraftKings is just taking off. QS now in the red. So it's just been a tough one right now, man. That's just I was up 300 on this name earlier today, so we'll see what happens.
MSOS, tax point note, new highs there, broke yesterday's high.
You guys are just leading me to the dispensary.
Yeah.
Leading me to the dispensary.
Well, I'll have when I cash out of this this triple leveraged.
I got some stock too in MSOS, but we're not talking the stock, the equity.
Well, that's where you get the money for that kind of stuff, right?
You got to trade the stock to get the stock, right? There he goes. MSOS still going, man. That one's a hard one. I think that one's a lot of has a tendency of doing these hourly long pullbacks. The same strategy we talk about all the time: break support and come back, break support, come back. Like look at it on the chart the last 3 days. On Monday, break support, comes back. On Tuesday, break support, comes back. On Wednesday, break support, comes back. It's just a continued pattern, right? So those are the ones you really want to stick to. And it gives you an opportunity to jump in, right? Maybe you missed the first move. Look at the pattern.
Trend
Yeah.
is your friend. Find the pattern, find the trend, trade it.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
there's
Louis, let's go. Good work. About to get funded here soon.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Keep with the
nice.
discipline. Yeah.
Got a
Get
lot, like I
after
said.
it, man.
Yep. Smud, he's new to, I think Smud's
Oh,
got
500 away
52.
from the 100K. Nice work, bud.
Yeah.
Get
Got
it.
a
Get
lot of
it.
people in my live stream that are killing it. Like I said, been talking about you guys since January or February. Got a guy named, he goes by CR Trader, but his name's Jorge. He's probably made 200,000. He's made a lot of money with you guys for sure.
Nice.
Over the past few months. And then,
that's,
we've got a lot of people like from him than myself that have moved over there. And then you got a lot of traders that are moving over to TTP. And then, like I said, it's just paying rent somewhere else or just go to TTP. I mean, locating to not
The
locate
short
yeah.
is a big thing for me. I mean, just not having to locate, because I was having to locate so much, for so many of these tickers. Now all I do is press the button. Nothing to it.
Yeah, and the key, you don't have to press the button. When you do locates, a lot of times you feel that
Yeah.
pressure of, I
Yep.
have to take this trade now
Yep.
because I'm already involved. Even
Yep.
if I don't have a position, I
Sunk
feel
cost
involved.
fallacy.
Yeah.
And anyone on the live stream, raise your hand right now. Smud or Tay or any of those, Louis. That's trust me, I love it because I do the one-on-ones. I love to open up with people. That's what a lot of traders do. They go, "Oh, I located. Okay, well now I got to take.
I gotta do
I
it.
got to. I got to get in. I just paid for this trade.
$50 for these locates. I gotta lose 1,000 now.
Yeah.
Can't
Exactly.
waste it.
It happens. It happens. And then,
Yeah.
and to tell you the truth, I mean, like, look at like Steven Dux. He was cracking up on Twitter and social about paying 300,000 in locates because he made a couple million on the trade, right? 10 million or something like that on BMNR. So sometimes you're gonna have to, right? I mean, this is part of the game. This is why I say that, especially for those traders that like to short, trade the pool is a really good place to learn how to short. Then once you learn how to short, then you can maybe go trade with the brokerages and the bigger accounts and learn how to deal with the borrows, right? I feel like if you try to do all at once, it's just too much. You get overload. I gotta borrow this stock in the morning. Oh no, well now I gotta trade it. Oh no, but this other one's going down. Now I gotta go borrow that one. And next thing you know, they have a whole bunch of borrows. They're not taking trades.
You're
and they're just
essentially the
being
broker.
distracted. Yeah.
Who wants these shares? I got everything
Exactly.
short.
Exactly. It's just part of the game, guys. But all right, 10:57, guys. Let's wrap it up here. Any final words for the traders out there? You guys out there? Anything? We'll just go down the line and we'll start it off here. Let's go to Kevin first, and then we'll go to Josh. Then we'll go to Michael, and we'll keep it moving here. Kevin, how are things looking with you today? And just give us a little bit of a wrap up.
Today ended up red, and it's frustrating when that happens because I feel like I'm seeing things well, but I get a little impatient. I think I jumped the gun a little bit. Trib, the magic 20 was there and didn't hit it. A couple of them, sized a little bit more on than the others, and those I took an L on. But outside of that, I felt like I was seeing things well, just sizing, risk management. That's the key. I mean, those criteria. The edge is not. The edge doesn't make you the money. The edge provides you the potential. You need the discipline, risk management, and then obviously the consistency to compound it. So overall, I'll take it. I don't want to dig myself into a hole. I'd like to just throw the shovel down and jump out normally, because digging yourself deep in a hole, not fun when you're red. But yes, sir.
It's never fun, and definitely we're going to have those red days. Yesterday, you guys saw it. I had a max red day. It's going to be a part of the game. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Now go over to Josh. How was your day? And we'll wrap up there, and then we'll go to Michael.
Yeah, I wish I'd had more trades. There were trades to be had. I was just 1 for 1 on SNOA. So I'll take it green day, on SNOA, one trade there. One thing to look for the rest of the day would be XPON. Would be watching back through, which we talked about, old resistance, new support at this 430 mark where Kevin got out of his short. A lot of people got out of that short and they got a bounce play. Well, look for a continuation down through that. So if you're looking for another good trade, XPON has volume, it's got good movement, and it's got a good chart. Watch back under that 430 area for the move down to the 4 in the VWAP area. And if we crack that, like we talked about, then we move to the bearish side if we do crack that.
Yeah, SPY starting to reject around the 645. We'll see if we go back to VWAP. That's going to be what I'll be watching today, back and forth today for me. Day trade account down about 197. We'll see what happens as we move forward. Still got a position on there in XOS. QS and DraftKings. DraftKings definitely the better position. Should have probably stayed in that one. But hey, I was looking for that seasonality trade. Wasn't getting it. It broke the 43 support today, but held that to a key and now starting to climb back. We'll see if it gets that 8% back to 46. QS is also one trade I'm still in. Probably end up taking a hit here if it goes through 925. That's going to be a little frustrating. You know, the one thing I hate to do is get up close to my profit and then go to the red. That's just not the way to do things. But hey, that's just what it is. Always going to keep it real with you guys. And that's the number one thing you get right here on Trade the Pool, where majority of places, they wouldn't even tell you. They would tell you they made money on that QS. But that's just the way it is out there in the finance world, especially out on Twitter. No one loses, right?
Oh, never.
All right, Michael, what's up? Last view in the market.
Just seeing a flip of what we said yesterday, right? So far this week, again, you small caps have been beating the pants off the big guys, and now it looks like that might be flipping. I'll just show this. Been talking about this chart again. I love ratio charts all week. Take a look at that, and let's go to like 30-minute chart, and then just high. Yeah, so this starting Monday, so this is IWM over SPY. Line go up, small caps are winning. Line go down, large caps are winning. So since Monday, small caps have just been destroying large cap, and that just flipped today. So this is what I'm watching a lot of, just to figure out where I should be pointing my algos to. And right now, it's a large cap world. Small caps not holding on at all. We'll see if this continues higher, maybe into the end of the week. But right now, yeah, definitely a big pullback on this ratio.
All right, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Like always, we'll keep battling. You guys can catch up with us in the Discord if you're not following. And don't forget, of course, about our Trading Bot event starting on August 18th, guys. You don't want to miss that. Definitely hit the like button down in the description. You can just click that link if you're watching on YouTube and sign up right now. You don't want to miss out. I know tons of you guys are going to be telling me on Monday, but Mitch, what happened? What happened to the Trading Bot event? Gotta click it. Gotta click it. Guys.
I'm giving out a free bot. By the end of this, you'll have your own trading bot with Trade the Pool for opening range breaks. Like, why not?
Why not, guys?
Free accounts. We're giving out free accounts. You could win an account.
Even if you just want to find out if this is maybe for you, go over. That's what it's also for. It's not just for the people that already want to build it. It's also for the people that have thought about it, but maybe haven't crossed that edge. I know Michael is really trying to drive you to the finish line. So
I'll get you there. I'll get you there.
Yeah, you see it. There you go, guys.
I'm asking about stops in here too. It's like, systematize it. Why not? You know,
Why
if that's
not?
your struggle, there's a solution for it.
All right, we'll see you next time right here on Trade the Pool. Like always, guys, keep battling.